ready to rock and roll here, fired up for a big round of rugby league, and I mean it when I say it is a big round of rugby league. We are on. Hey guys, how you going? So BKR Sport. We are live as we watch on as the Melbourne Storm take on the Brisbane Broncos at Amy Park in Melbourne. And also welcome to Indigenous Round, a great round where we get to appreciate the Indigenous culture of Australia, and we do have like the names of where the city, like for the city and whatnot. For example, Melbourne, Wurundjeri, Brisbane, Yagara and Turrbal. So we'll obviously speak about that and whatnot throughout this weekend, but I'm looking forward to it, man. We've got some big games. We've got some absolutely massive games this round that are really going to define a lot about the table. And this game is a perfect way to start as well. Like, truly, you can't get much better than this for a starter, for the Broncos to prove themselves and for Melbourne to potentially go top of the table. They, with a win here, would go top of the table until Canberra played against Manly this week. So there is a lot at stake. There is a lot at stake, and that game against Manly for the Raiders is tomorrow. So let's go through these games that are going to be on for round 23, and then we'll get into the two-team lineups, and then we'll get into the ladder, and then we'll see what you guys are saying. So obviously hit that like button, subscribe if you're new around here. Like you all know, we will be here for every single game live this weekend. I'm just so excited for this back-end season stretch. And let's get into it. So the first game, obviously, Storm versus Broncos. We'll be watching on tonight. Then tomorrow, we have the Knights versus the Panthers. Knights trying to avoid the spoon. Panthers, I've got my thoughts about them right now. But with that being said, the Panthers, they are fighting for a top 4 spot. And actually, with a win, would go into the top 4 for the time being till the Warriors played later on the weekend. So that's a big game tomorrow. Then you got Raiders versus Manly. There's not much else that needs to be said about that. Raiders fighting for first position on the table. Manly desperate to keep their top 8 hopes alive. That's a massive game. Dragon Sharks is a massive game for Cronulla. Dragon season for mine is done and dusted. I can't see them making the 8, and I don't even think they get the wooden spoon. So at the end of the day, they're probably just in a bit of a flat line to the back end of the year. But the Cronulla Sharks, they're in 7th. They are fighting for a top 4 spot. They still have a bye to come, and they are still fighting for the top 8. So a lot to do there for Cronulla. Then you got the Dolphins Roosters, which could potentially be the game of the round. This is 8th versus 9th. Whoever wins is into the 8 for the time being. Whoever loses is out of the top 8. So that is a massive, massive game there on Saturday, which starts us off on Saturday as well. Actually, no, sorry, it's the midday game. Midway through 3 games. And then you got Bulldogs Warriors, which also could be the game of the round. Bulldogs obviously fighting for top 4 and also the minor premiership. Warriors are desperate to stay in the top 4. So that game is just huge. Then you got Titans versus Rabbitohs on Sunday, which is the battle of the wooden spoon. So both teams desperate to win that game. And then Eels versus Cowboys. Eels trying to avoid the spoon. So are the Cowboys. Every game has a lot to do here this week. Every single game. And that is why I'm so damn well pumped up. I'm so damn well pumped up, man. It's going to be an exciting round. The Tigers do have the bye. But let's get into this game here today and the two-team lineup. So the Melbourne Storm from Wurundjeri, they are in 2nd position, whilst the Brisbane Broncos from Yagara and Turrbal is 6th position. This is at Amy Park in Melbourne, the home of the Wurundjeri people. And the ins here for the Melbourne Storm, Alec McDonald and Trent Loiero, with the outs being Jack Howarth and Lazarus Valepu. You got the fullback, little puppy run Pappenhausen, baby. He is on the fullback, with the wingers being Grant Anderson and Xavier Coates. Centres are Nick Meaney and Joe Chan. Shifts in from the 17 into the starting centre. They go to the 5'8", Cameron Money Munster with Tyron Wishart as the halfback. The front row forwards are Stefano Utuagamanu and Josh King, with the number 9 being Harry Grant, who is the captain. Go to the back row, Sean Bloor and Eliesa Katoa, with the 13 being Trent Loiero. We now move into the bench, which is Jonah Pezzett, Ativalu Lisati, Tui Kamikamitha, Big Tozo Vidiman, and then Alec McDonald jumps in from that number 21 into the bench, with Bronson Garlick being the 18th man replacement, and Craig Bellamy is the coach. This Melbourne Storm team, it just doesn't have any excuses. Now, recently, they have been a little bit up and down that you do have to talk about. They are on not a skid per se, but they haven't necessarily been winning games really convincingly. And the last time they played in Melbourne was 3 weeks ago against Manly. And Manly, they haven't been convincing at all. But Manly won 18-16 down there in Melbourne for a massive game for them before they've gone on to lose their last 2 games. So, look, Manly are getting that win there was more of a rivalry game. I can understand why Manly did get that win. I still think the Storm overall are a better team than Manly for sure. But the point of the matter is that in their last 2 weeks after that Manly game, they've beaten the Roosters 34-30. today, they've beaten the Eels 16-10, but both those games were extremely close and weren't convincing. Last week against the Eels, they were kind of making a lot of errors, which is what they have been doing quite a bit recently. They just didn't really put them away. Actually, to be fair, they didn't actually give away that many errors, but 10 penalties conceded is quite large. So they gave away a lot of penalties. The Eels were the ones who actually gave away most of the errors with 15 or so. But the point of the matter is that in their last 3 weeks, they're 2 from 3, which is what you would expect from the Storm. And if you want to go back to the Knights game, 32-14, that was a convincing one there. But the point of the matter is that they just are leaving a few questions unanswered, in my personal opinion. I think there's a few questions left unanswered with this Melbourne Storm team. And I don't necessarily think that the Melbourne Storm proved themselves tonight against the Broncos, who they are still on fraud alert until, if they win today, they'll come up fraud alert. If they lose, they stay on it. But the point of the matter is that the Storm won't necessarily prove a great deal about who they are tonight unless they go and win by 40 or 50. If they do that, then yeah, sure, okay, now we're starting to really recognise kind of where the Storm are at, and they still have what it takes to absolutely slap some teams in the top 8 of the table, because those teams that they're playing, in Roosters, Eels and Manly, that haven't been convincing, and the Knights as well, are all bottom 9 teams, right? All of them. So yeah, this is their first time up against a team in the top 8 since all the way back in the 29th of June when they took on the Sharks and won 30-6, which was a different Sharks team. And even it does seem like when they're playing the bigger opposition, they are actually doing quite well for the most part. Actually, to be fair, they lost 20-18 to the Raiders there. But the point of the matter is that this Storm team, questions are still left unanswered. I don't necessarily think it gets proven today, but if they win by a large margin, sure. But their next few weeks to end this season is just romper stomper. Broncos this week, Panthers away next week, the Bulldogs at home the week after, the Roosters at home the week after, and then the Broncos away in the last round of the season. So they've got a romper stomper last 5 games here, and they need to start getting a move on. Not for their table positioning, they are a top 4 team. They're not for their ladder positioning, but they need to start getting a move on in the sake of proving themselves going into that finals to really get a bit of a motor on and momentum going into the big stages. Now for the Brisbane Broncos, on the other hand, you got Jaden Hunt coming in alongside the big old Payne Haas. Huge inclusion there. The outs are Jesse Arthurs and Xavier Willison. You got the fullback, which is Reese Peacey, Reece Walsh, with the wingers being Selwyn Cobbo and Dean Mariner. Centres of Tony Staggs and Gerhard Shibasaki. 5'8", Ezra Mem, with the halfback being Adam Reynolds, who is the captain. Then you go to the front row, Corey Jensen and Payne Haas. Number 9 is Ben Hunt. Back row, Jack Yasewski and Jordan Ricky, and the 13 is Patrick Carrigan, with the interchange being Billy Walters, Cubby Hetherington, Ben Talty, and Jaden Hunt, and the 18th man replacement is Tyson Smoothie. The coach is Michael Maguire. Solid Broncos team. A lot of questions still about this Broncos team. Ridiculous amount of questions. At the end of the day, they are coming off the back of a 60-14 win over the South Sydney Rabbitohs last week, but if you didn't watch it and you don't know a great deal about Broncos, you probably would have a bit of a bad contextual view of that game. The South Sydney Rabbitohs have a ridiculous amount of injuries right now. 100 more games this season as a collective than the next worst team on an injury level, right? So the Rabbitohs played with the New South Wales Cup team last week. They are in last position. Yes, they play the Titans this week in the Spoon Bowl, but the point of the matter is that the Rabbitohs have gone through an incredibly difficult season with injuries, and they actually held their own for the first half. The first half wasn't bad against the Brisbane Broncos. The Broncos weren't great. They did lead, I think it was 4, 8, 12, and then there was 14, 16, 18. So they were up 18-8 at halftime. And for the most part, the Broncos didn't do shit. The first half was not great at all. But obviously they powered home in the second half, which is what you would expect there, which is what the Sharks should have done the week beforehand against Rabbitohs, which they did not do. So that is a benefit there to the Broncos. They were able to kick on when they needed to in the second half. But with that being said, there was, out of the 10 tries, 4 of them were extremely controversial. But they still scored 6 tries outside of the controversial nature, right? So, look, overall, you look at that, you say they scored a lot of points. They were expected to score a lot of points. You need to back it up this week, because the week beforehand they lost the Eels 22-20, a team that was in second last at the time, or they were second last at the time, and then obviously got a big win up there at Suncorp Stadium, which the Eels would have gone into last with a loss there, because the Titans ended up beating the the Warriors, and the Eels were below the Rabbitohs at the time, so they would have gone into last if they had lost that game, but luckily for them, they did it. Now, there was a bye. They did beat the Titans 26-14. That's expected. Beat the Bulldogs 22-18, coming back from 18-0 down at halftime to win 22-18. However, contextually, there was Origin, so both the Broncos and the Bulldogs had all of their players out. And then you go back to that Warriors game 26-12. We all know how the Warriors are going recently, right? So the point is that the Broncos, that 60-14 win can go one of two ways. Literally just two ways. The Broncos can come into this game expecting that they're back and they're ready to rock and roll. And your fans are going to say that, and I can understand why the fans say that, right? They've got to have belief. But the point is that the Broncos could come into this game, they could believe in themselves, they could be really red hot, focused, momentum. They're coming down to a team they never usually beat. The last time they beat Melbourne in Melbourne was 2016. The Storm did lose a couple of weeks ago, but they don't usually lose 2 games in a row. But they could come into this game thinking, well, shit, we're red hot. We've just absolutely slapped the team. Who cares about the context of it? And we're going to come rampage through here, and they're going to keep up their momentum, and that's going to be huge on their stretch home, especially as they play the Dolphins next week, which is a must-win for them, especially if they lose this game. That's a really big game for them to win next week, actually, against the Dolphins. But the point is that they can come in and they can absolutely slap it. And this Storm team is beatable. They are every single team in the competition is beatable. Every single team. Last week would prove that greatly. Raiders losing to the Dragons, Bulldogs losing to the Tigers, Storm struggling against the Eels, and a couple of weeks ago losing to Manly, and then the Warriors being, the Denver Warriors. So anyone's beatable. They can come like that, or they can be overconfident, which is something Brisbane are quite well known to do, and they could come in here extremely overconfident, and the Storm just absolutely slap them themselves. Not that I think that's necessarily going to be the case, but this Broncos team is known for having quite a few egos on it. They are a very excitable bunch, which can go both ways. Again, it can be very positive, it can also be very negative. And I hope they don't come into this game overconfident, thinking that, yes, the Storm are very beatable, and we're going to do what we did to the Rabbitohs to them. Right? Because it's just not going to happen. You're not going to do that at AAMI Park. So anyway, my tip here today, I could actually see the Broncos winning. I could see it. I'm going to tip the Storm at home on the basis that they don't usually lose 2 games in a row at home, or in a row in general. I think that they've got a good enough team here to win. However, the loss of Jerome Hughes is massive in this back home stretch, and it's like they are going to make the top 4. It's not a dramatic amount of necessity to come into the top 2, because you're going to get a home final regardless, whether it be week 1 or week 2 of the finals. And I just don't think the Storm care too much about that. I can't go against the home record there of the Storm. I can't go against the fact the Storm do usually beat the Brisbane Broncos, and they are like their bogey team, even though the Storm are kind of bogey team for everybody. And yeah, I'm not going to confidently say it, but I can see a world where the Broncos do come in and win this game, and then next week go and lose to the Dolphins. You know what I'm saying? I don't know. I just get that vibe, right? So I should trust my gut more often than not, but I'm not going to trust my gut here today, and I'm gonna go with the Storm. I am going to go with the Storm on brain over gut, brain over gut. So that's what I'll do. But I can see a world they get up for this one. Now, in regards to the ladder positioning, the all-important ladder, the Melbourne Storm, they are in second position, equal with the Canterbury Bulldogs there. They're very thankful the Tigers got a win over the Bulldogs last week, because it kept them in second. Now, they're on 34 points. They've got plus 228 points differential, whilst the Bulldogs have a plus 122 points differential. And the Canberra Raiders, they're on 36 points with a plus 152 points differential. So, Storm win this game here today. Bang, numero uno, until tomorrow when they take on the Canberra Raiders. That'll be absolutely, not take on Canberra Raiders, when the Raiders take on Manly. They would be in first position, with that points differential being so much more better than anybody else around them. They're clearly the number 1 points differential team of the competition. Well, about 50 to the Dolphins, funnily enough, but the point is, Storm very convincingly at the top there. So if they win, they would be in first until the Raiders did take on Manly tomorrow. Now, if they lose this game, however, they're not going to go down immediately, because they are 106 points differential better than the Dogs. That should tell you a lot. But if the Dogs are to beat the New Zealand Warriors on, I think it's Saturday, the Dogs would go into second, or even potentially first, depending on that Raiders-Manly game. But the point is, for the Storm, the Dogs would go above them, so the Storm would go to third, and that's as far as they can go, because the Warriors are on 30 points with a plus 26 points differential. That is not great, and that's definitely not great in regards to the points differential. So the Storm can either finish in first this weekend, they can still finish in second, but they also could finish in third, and probably likely, because you'd expect the Dogs to bounce back against the against the Warriors, but the Warriors is a massive game. They really need a really big game there. It was. Now, in regards to the Brisbane Broncos, they are not in the top 8 yet. They are also still in with a chance of the top 4. This is why it's so important here. So the Broncos are in 6th position on 28 points with a plus 124 points differential. Obviously, massively boosted by that win against the Rabbitohs last week. Otherwise, they were down there, similar-ish to where the Sharks are and the Panthers and whatnot, plus 43 and plus 83. But the Panthers are on the uneven point system with that draw from the Cowboys. So the Broncos win this game. They would, for the time being, go above the Penrith Panthers into 5th position. And because their points differential is better, they would go into the top 4 today for the time being over the New Zealand Warriors, who have a plus 26 and the Broncos plus 124. Now, remember when I had to argue with a certain Warriors fan about 2 months ago, maybe even 2.5 months ago, where the Warriors fan was like, who cares about the points differential? It's just about the 2 points. And it's like, well, you're actually completely wrong. The 2 points are very important, but as you're about to potentially find out tonight with the Brisbane Broncos, you are nowhere close to their points differential. They are plus 124, you are plus 26. So they will slap you tonight and go above you tonight, New Zealand Warriors, and this is why your points differential is important. I know the 2 points is the most important factor, but this is a big key telling point about where the Warriors have been throughout the season. They've been winning close games, but they're just not... They're not winning games against the lower opposition by the margin that they really should be doing to benefit their points differential with the 228 for the Storm, 122 for the Dogs, 152 to the Raiders, and then even the plus 171 there for the Dolphins, right? The Roosters, who aren't even in the top 8, they're pretty much the same points differential as the Warriors. Anyway, this isn't a Warriors video. Point matter is, Broncos for the time being would go into 4th position, and that's as high as they can go. But the Panthers do play the Knights tomorrow, and the Warriors play the Bulldogs, so they could fall down back into 6th position. Now, if they lose this game here, the Broncos, the Sharks, they play the Dragons this week. If the Sharks win, the Broncos go to 7th. The Dolphins, they... will play the Roosters. If the Dolphins win that, the Broncos will go to 8th position. Now, that's as low as they can go. However, that's actually a bit of a bonus and actually something that the Broncos won't mind too much because that would then separate the Roosters and Manly in 9th and 10th, well, maybe just the Roosters, 4 points off, right? So the Roosters would be 4 points away on 24 points. So if the Broncos lose and the Dolphins win, it's a bit of a catch-22 where they like it because it's separated the top 8 a lot more and it's probably removed the Roosters from the race nearly, but on the flip side, the Dolphins will jump them. They will jump them with their plus 171. So the lowest they can go is 8th, and they probably would finish in 8th because I would say the Sharks do beat the Dragons, and I do think the Dolphins beat the Roosters. So the Broncos probably finish in 8th. However, Manly do play the Raiders. If the Manly were to get a big win tomorrow and save their season, they would also be only 2 points away from the Bronx. So they still wouldn't be guaranteed for the 8 by any stretch of the imagination. But there you go, guys. Bada bang, 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 bang. That is the summary of today's game and a bit of this round. Obviously, hit that like button, subscribe if you're new around here. Let's get into the old chatola and see what you are fired up about. Get around it. Ibrahim says this is very hard to predict. Oh, yeah, son. Oh, yeah. I don't think it's hard to predict, but ultimately, 99% of people are going to be voting and backing in the Storm here. Most people are going to be backing in the Storm because they realistically should do on... You know, if you're thinking... Broncos fans are going to go for the Broncos, and they're going to say the Broncos. But most neutrals and most people who watch the game enough will probably say the Storm should win this game, and it should win this game quite well with how the Broncos season has gone. I just think that it's starting to... That 60-14 result at the time was really dead, and we were like, whatever, it's against the Rabbitohs. But it's still a lot of points to score. It's still a lot of points to score against... professional. Like, they are still contracted to the team, right? It should be next man up mentality, but the Rabbitohs have just been absolutely slapped by injuries. So, I don't know. It's like the Broncos have really twisted a lot of people's minds in that category last week, and the Storm haven't done enough recently to really smack in saying that they are the big dog team we've seen over the recent years. We know the Storm are a very good team. We know that's going to be the case. However, it's like they just need to convince a little bit more. We need a little bit more convincing right now. And I guess we've said this all throughout this season so far. But this is a good game to kind of get back on the wagon. I know they've won 2 games in a row, but get back on the wagon. And then next week, they have a couple of really tough games coming up against, I think it's the Panthers and the Bulldogs. So we've got a huge couple of weeks coming up. Yeah, Panthers next week on Thursday, CommBank Stadium. And then the week after, the Storm will take on the Bulldogs at Amy Park. So they've got a massive couple of games coming up. This will be a good testing point, but nothing too red hot for mine. Olivia Reid with the $8 donation. Get around here, Olivia says, here we go. I'm scared, but I have some hope. Just finished my nightly workouts. I'm ready to watch some footy. Fire up, you influencer, you. I've seen your Instagram story. You're basically an influencer. You're stealing my job, Olivia. You're stealing my job. You're killing it. Keep going. Keep cracking on. Get that six-pack by Christmas. Get that six-pack damn well by Christmas, Olivia. Do it. You know? No excuses. Appreciate you for the dono. Brett the 10 says Warriors need to win. Fuck, who doesn't need to win right now? Pretty much every single team does need to win, man. It's a very important time of the season, and this is a really good point of the season as well, this year specifically, because a lot of years you'll find that the wooden spoon at this point is between maybe 2 teams, maybe 3 teams at max. Right now, it's still between 6 teams. The Rabbitohs can win it, the Titans can win it, the Eels can win it, the Knights can win it, the Dragons can win it, probably not, and the Cowboys can win it. And you'd argue the Tigers too, so that's 7 teams, but it's the Tigers have a bye this week, so probably not. There's a couple of teams you would doubt, as in the Tigers and also the Dragons maybe, but there's a lot of teams that can win the spoon. And then you've got the top 8, where you've got the Roosters still playing for it, Manly still playing for it, Dolphins still playing for it, Sharks, Broncos, even technically the Panthers, but not really. But the point is that there's a whole bunch of teams still fighting for the top 8, and then the top 4 is a huge battle as well, with a couple of those top 8 battling teams. And then you've also got the minor premiership race, which is still red hot between the Raiders, the Storm, and the Bulldogs. There is 3 different potential teams that could finish on top of the table this week. The Raiders, if they win, they will be in first position. The Raiders lose and the Storm win, then the Storm will be in first position. If the Raiders lose and the Storm lose and the Bulldogs win, the Bulldogs are in first position. Probably. Not necessarily, but probably, because they're on plus 152, the Raiders, and the Bulldogs are on plus 122. So the 30-point switch there between the 2 games, there's the Bulldogs go to the top. So, look, it's still absolutely raging across the board. And yeah, look, the Warriors on 30 points, like, Panthers probably beat the Knights tomorrow, and the Warriors will jump out of the top 4 for, I think, the first time this season. So it's just crazy, dude. Like, it is really, really crazy. It's crazy. Storm probably don't want to win this game tonight, because then they will drop below the Titans. They will go into 16th place today with a win here, the Storm. All right, so the Broncos and the Storm are out in the field. I think we're about to do the welcome to country before the game does start. Electro says, do you love doing this? Man, I'm passionate about rugby league. I love this sport, love this community. I love chatting with you guys every single week and kicking back and watching some footy. I've been up on Saigon Sky Tower today in Ho Chi Minh, which has been great. Saigon is Ho Chi Minh for people who don't know. But the point is that, yeah, I went up there and had a great time. Looked over the city, which was amazing. I've been having a great time here, man. So it's always good to be travelling and enjoying, but also be able to come back here and watch the game. Melbourne should win. Close game potentially though. Should win. But also could be a blowout. Just throwing it out there. Could also be a blowout. Madang says go to Broncos. Olivia says it is live. Yeah, no, it is live, Olivia. Well done. Yeah, no, I am here. I am a real human being. I am. Mitchell says this Muppet never goes with his gut. When is he going to learn? Mitchell, you want me to the Broncos? Is this what you're trying to tell me here, Mitchell? You know what, Mitchell? Hey, listen. If the Broncos go on to win today and I didn't trust my gut, I just want to remind everyone, my gut tells me the Broncos actually sneak this win. But my head is telling me the Storm are going to get it. So I'm going with my head. I'm avoiding the gut. But the gut has been right more often than not this year. It really has been. Like, I don't know if I've trusted my gut once. I don't think I have. You guys would probably remember if I have. I don't think I've actually backed in my gut once. So, look, Mitchell, if the Broncos win, don't tell me that I didn't tell you so. You know what I'm saying? Don't tell me. Brett says the Panthers lost all those games at the start to see if they could still win it. No, I just think they're in a very different point of their season. But it looks that way. But no, they didn't intentionally lose the games at the start of the year. All right, Sean James, good afternoon all. Get around you, Sean. Joseph says, is this the closest round of the year? Closest round of the year? What do you mean, Joseph? Closest round of the year? Do you mean closest season? In regards to all positioning, sure. In regards to the top 8, you'd probably say like 2017 or 2018, one of those 2 years when it was like the top 8 was separated by 2 points. From 1st to 8th was separated by 2 points. But it was like 4 to 6 points between 8th and 9th. So probably that year for the top 8. But overall, with all ladder positionings, yes, I would say this is the closest and most exciting year. But the Broncos will kick this ball off here, guys. And it will be the Storm coming out from their own end goal. Munster gives it off to Stefano Doegamanu. And I've got to refresh the score. Don't worry, I've already done that, Jay. Get that into you, son. Get that in you, lads. Daz, mate, welcome to the BK Supporter. Appreciate you, man. First time here, Daz? Welcome, mate. We really appreciate you. We appreciate you joining up as a member for the first time in history. So third tackle limit the Storm. They're going to be at the 20. Let's see if they can limit their errors this week, even though the Broncos are a very error-ridden team as well. Even last week in the first half specifically, but the second half, obviously, they obviously put a little bit of a score on. Jim James, you've got to go with your gut. Hey, listen. Do you guys want me to tip the Broncos? Is that what you're asking me to do here? Since when has this become a Broncos circle jerk on this channel? Wow. BK Sports gone backwards. Time to delete the channel. Selwyn Cobbo brings his ball out here to the 40. No, the 35. That's be first tackle. Benny West's Broncos better attacking team. Just hold the ball. Reece Ezra, dangerous. That is great, but that is also incorrect. 526 points for the Broncos this season on attack. 583 points for the Melbourne Storm. Guess who's the best attacking team of the competition? Melbourne Storm, not the Broncos. So no, incorrect. That is not true. The Broncos are not a better attacking team than the Melbourne Storm. And they haven't been for a very long time. Spider makes a Storm to beat. Salted Fix Pack says, is it your opinion if the Dolphins met Manly a week ago, Manly lose worse than to the Roosters? What? Can you please rephrase? What? So the Storm are going to get this ball. Oh, that's a penalty. Reece Walsh, that's stupid. No, sorry, that's... yeah, it is Reece Walsh. I don't even know why you're complaining, Reece. I don't even know why Reece is complaining. You clearly contacted the player. He's not calling you for offside, mate. He's saying that you've contacted... Like, what are you arguing about, Reece? What is he arguing about? He's not even looking at the ball. What is Reece Walsh arguing about, dude? What are you arguing about? Tackling mid-air? Yeah, of course it was, but he wasn't even looking at the ball. He was looking directly at Ryan Pappenhausen, bumped him like 2 seconds before the ball even arrived. Like, come on. And then he started to complain to the referee. So Storm is second tackle at the 42. Yeah, so Salted Fifth Pack said, is it your opinion, if the Dolphins met Manly a week ago, Manly lose worse than to the Roosters? I don't understand what you're asking here. Like, you're saying... I don't understand what you're asking, brother. All right, Harry Grant, great run here, and they're going to get this ball over right-hand side. Great pass from Harry Grant there at the 20, the 15, back to the inside, Pappenhausen, no, it's going to be Broncos touch it, 6 again here, and that's going to be a knock-on from the Storm. Yep, unfortunately for the Storm, they couldn't get it, and you're very lucky here, Brisbane. You are very lucky, because that's an ominous sign. They absolutely crunched you down that right wing. Grant Anderson kicks the ball back onto the inside. It didn't bounce up perfectly for Pappenhausen, and then a Bronco touched it, would have been 6 again, and then the Melbourne Storm have knocked it on 5 metres out, so it'll be a 10-metre out for the Broncos on their own line. Parachip says, g'day everyone, get around you, mate. Daz, mate, says, I just want to say, as a brand new viewer, Broncos suck, 24-8. That did happen, Daz. Yeah, wow. Wow, that did happen. You are right, Daz. Well done. I was there. Don't know if you know this, Daz. Daz, I don't know if you know this, but I was actually, in fact, there. So the Broncos will bring this ball out to the 15, first tackle. Chad Lewis says, not seeing your tips has just signed onto this stream, but I think Broncos can win this 1 to 8 points. I don't think Storm are certainties at all. No one does. But I'm still tipping the Storm in my head, but I think my gut tells me the Broncos will be up for it. This guys, Storm got this. Olivia says, hope that's not a sign of how this night is going to be. Oh, I hope it is. I hope it is. It'll keep a team still in the top 8 battle. If the Broncos lose this game, Olivia, they're still battling for the top 8. They're not battling for the top 4. They're battling for the top 8. So that's a knock-on for the Brisbane Broncos, and this is not a good start, but this is not a surprise either, because the Broncos are one of the teams that make a lot of errors. This is something they usually do, but Broncos fans like to call me a hater because I point it out. By the way, for the person who said the Broncos are the better attacking team, they are the fourth best attacking team of the competition. The third best is the Dolphins, the second best is the Raiders, and the best is the Storm. Storm have scored 100 tries as well. Broncos scored 88, so the Storm have scored 12 more tries than the Brisbane Broncos this season. All right, massive set here defensively for the Brisbane Broncos. Don't give it up so quickly. Don't do it. Don't do it. So the Melbourne Storm, 15 metres out from... 35 metres out from the line. They give it off to Sean Blaw, and Sean Blaw is going to be at the 28. Electro Eels says, I think Storm 28-22 Broncos. And maybe, but right inside time, Wishart gives it off to Nick Meaney. Meaney to 20. He's still going here. Ezra Mem, the cat, missed the tackle, and they'll be taken down now at the 19. At the 19. And now 50. Harry Grant's looking like he's up for a big game again here. 4 tackle to 5. He's got some huge He's got some huge form recently. Nick Meaney to Tyron Wishart. Wishart to Trent Loiero. Loiero is going to be 10 metres out from the line. Fit tackle. Fit tackle. And now it's going to be 5 metres out, actually. He got some good post contact there. They roll it back to Tyron Wishart. Wishart off to Munster. Munster to Pappenhausen. Kicks that ball through. That is going to be a dropout. Yeah. Yeah, Xavier Coates is having a crack up because he was trying to wait for it to go dead, but it will be a dropout coming up. Jay is here. Jay's always here. Jay never leaves. Jay has never left BK Sport in his life. As soon as the stream goes up, Jay's waiting. He's watching. I saw him time out someone early this morning because I saw them put Storm with an S at the end of it. All right, so the Broncos will kick this ball. That's a great kick. Oh, it's going to be a... They're going to say knock backwards. It's going to be Broncos ball to 5. They're going to say it's fine. Okay, Brocky Sports says hello, hello. Get around ya. Ibram says, can Nelson chuck another elbow in Eds's face? That'd be nice. Yeah, I wouldn't... no, I'm not going to back in violence, but I would with this situation. But I'm not going to back in violence. Maybe not. Maybe. Parrot says, who thinks Parrot will beat the Cowboys? Who doesn't care? So it's going to be 4th tackle now for the Broncos. They're going to be at the 30-metre line. 4th tackle. Good little run there. Ibram says, I already read that comment. Out to Reece Walsh. Walsh then to Corey Jensen. And Jensen's going to be at the 35. Fit tackle. Fit tackle. To be fair, though, I do think the Eels probably beat the Cows. Cows are awful. Cows, they're awful, dude. Last week was just dreadful. But then again, they do need to win to avoid the spoon as well. That is a spoon battle. People are focused on the Titans-Rabbitohs but don't realise that the Rabbitohs have a bye. And if the Titans win, that's 2 points of both teams coming up. So the Eels... Oh, that's a high tackle. Second tackle, 42, they didn't call it. So the Eels, if they lose that game, minus 153. If the Titans win against the Rabbitohs, the Titans will go above the Eels. And the Rabbitohs will still be 2 points behind, but they do have a bye coming up. They do have a bye coming up. So the Eels would actually kind of be in last with that bye on the basis that the Rabbitohs and Eels, I don't think, play for the rest of this season. All right, so it's going to be Storm now. 30 metres out, fit tackle. I'm just trying to find out when that bye is for the Rabbits. I think it might be round 25. No, round 26, I think it is. And last tackle, that's an awful kick from the Storm, and it's going to be a 20-metre set restart here for the Brisbane Broncos. It must be round 26 here. Yeah, round 26, the Rabbitohs have a bye, so Eels, you have to win that game. You have to. Unless if the Titans lose, then it's not a must-win, but... Titans still have an easier draw than, say, the Eels. Knights have the hardest draw of the lot, though. So second tackle now for the Broncos, they'll be the 42. Second tackle, they go to the right-hand side. Now it's going to be Paddy Carrigan. Oh, Jay. Third tackle here at the 48. Ezra Mam at the puck now to Reece Walsh. Walsh at the 30 gives it off. Here's a chance. Someone Cobbo. Cobbo's going over the sideline. He's going to... No, he's not. He's going to be very close going over, though. Fourth tackle here at the 23. Gives it out to Reece Walsh. Reece Walsh to Payne Haas. And Payne Haas on fit tackle. Good run to the 15. 15 metres out. Ben Hunt off to Adam Reynolds. Kicks it. That's way too hard. That's way too... Oh, that's actually really close. That wasn't way too hard. I don't think he gets this, but it's close. There's no way he gets this. What do you mean, Brandy, you think he's going to give it? He's already got to the bunker, which ultimately means he's giving it a no try. What are you talking about, Brandy? Do you understand the game? Or what? Hey, it's a knock on. He actually, if he had he had the ability to put that down, he just knocks it on. I just can't believe what Brandy's just said. Brandy's like, I think he's going to give it as he's already blown the whistle and going to the bunker. I don't think he realises, Brandy, but he cannot give it a try when he's going to the bunker. He's calling no try if he's going to the bunker. Brett the 10 says, any trainers on the field yet? Don't you fucking start me on the trainers. Don't you start me on trainers. Now, Xavier Coates, he'll get this ball on zero tackle to the 28. It was a no try, it was a knock on. And now zero tackle, Pappenhausen. Now Grant Anderson at the 35, first tackle. 10 minutes into the first half here, guys. 30 minutes to go. This massive game on Thursday night. Hit that like button and subscribe if you are new around here. Electro Eels says, no, why are we screaming here? Why are we screaming? Why are we screaming? Third tackle at the halfway point. I really don't know what the worst game of the round is this week. Like, Sharks Dragons could be the worst game of the round, to be fair. Out to the left-hand side, and that's going to be Utukamanu. He gets that ball off to Trent Loiero. Loiero to Josh King, and Josh King's going to be 25 metres away. Fit tackle. The funniest thing about this whole trainer fiasco, 1 second. Storm here, kick it up for Xavier Code. No, it's going to be Dean Mariner grabs the ball at the 10. The funniest thing about this trainer fiasco is that it's Titans fans, funnily enough, aren't actually angry as much about the trainer. It's bullshit, but they're not as angry about the trainer. It's more angry at Casey Badger for being an incompetent idiot in the bunker, and I'll say that publicly. I couldn't give a shit. It's more about her and her consistency in regards to getting incorrect calls in regards to Phil Sammy no penalty try. But the NRL fans, as a community, are the ones that are really up and against the trainer incident. Now, I obviously don't like it, and Titans fans definitely don't like it, and it's a thing called icing the kicker in the NFL. Storm here, get this ball to the 30 through Xavier Coates. I don't like it, and everyone knows that, and I'm going to say that, but my biggest emphasis is the Phil Sammy no try, and we've cleared the play up into this. Casey Badger's an idiot. Saves the attitude of the Panthers I don't like. I don't like how Ivan Cleary's trying to go the whole sub story route, which is hilarious. Nick Maney, third tackle, gets this ball to the 40. I hear the guy's gotten death threats and stuff. I don't believe it, but like potentially, I wouldn't necessarily be horrifically surprised. Obviously, don't do that, but. Harry Grant to Puppenhausen. Puppenhausen at the back into Sean Bloor. Sean Bloor gets it up to Harry Grant. Harry Grant will get the offload away. Rampaging work here. 5 metres out. Joe Chan. Fit tackle. Harry Grant. Harry Grant gives it off to Munster. Munster steps. He goes. Flicks it off. Harry Grant. That's a penalty for a tackle without the ball for mine. That's a penalty for a tackle without the ball for mine, referee. Everyone's pretty much thinking that was... I'm pretty certain that was a tackle without the ball here. I would like to see this again. No, maybe not. No, maybe not, actually. That was probably fine. So good call by the referee. Yeah, Steve, I'm not a massive fan of how Ivan Cleary's dealt with the situation. I think that you should just try and sweep it under the rug very quickly. Don't even answer the questions and whatnot. Don't try and make it out like it was anybody else's fault except for your own, which you knew about, you intended to do it. And anyone who says it wasn't intentional, you just... Look, I've got a story to tell you, and his name is Santa Claus. So, fit tackle here at the 45. Ibrahim says Panthers first Knights will probably suck. Yeah, could suck. With Tony Staggs here. Flicks the ball back onto the inside. It's going to be Corey Jensen. Then off to Jordan Ricky. He'll whack that ball up. And that's going to be knocked back for the Broncos. And that's going to be knocked on by the Broncos. The 25. So Storm will get the ball 25 metres out from their own line. No versus Bronx Nation. Parachutes has happened 7 times since, I think, 2020. Probably. So first tackle now for Melbourne to 30. He says, "What are you angry about how that set? It was I don't know why Jordan Ricky's kicking it, but sure." Nick Meaney at the 35 pushes away from a couple. Now he'll be at the 40. It'll be second tackle. Mitchell says Broncos would be winning now if Jock Madden was playing. Well, see, the funny thing here is, Mitchell, is that Jock Madden currently isn't playing, and I don't know if Jock Madden is ever going to play. So that's kind of the issue that we're facing here, Mitchell. If you've got a way around this issue, please let me know. But the issue is here that he is not actually playing. Stefano Wuchukamaru, the 35 on 4 tackle. The way it just went up in the air. Well, it's a back rower kicking it. Oh, that's going to be a knock-on from Melbourne Storm. And this game has plenty of errors in it. Paying us the way he is to the 40, the 45, the 50. He steps back onto the inside, and Nick Meaney's going to grab him there. But they do find the pass underneath, and they'll be 30 metres out from the line. This Storm team is showing what the Storm have done recently. Quite a bit out of the left-hand side. Here's Selwyn Cobbo. It's a forward pass. You're kidding me, Reece Welsh. Reece, you're off your rocker that you've thrown that ball forward. It's 0 tackle. You've run 70 metres with your team, and you're telling me you're going to throw a forward pass. That is out of control, Reece Welsh. That is absolutely off the Richter scale. How can you throw that ball forward on 0 tackle after running 70 metres? Oh, that is so bad from Reece Welsh, man. That is so bad. That is so bad, dude. That is so bad to do. It was clearly forward too. What did I say last week, guys? When Reece Walsh plays the ball with his feet rather than playing the ball with the hands, he's an electric, brilliant player. But he wants to be like a 5'8". He wants to be involved in the play. He wants to be the creator. Create with your feet, not with your hands. You do not have a passing game. I'm sorry, Broncos fans, please argue with me. Please debate me here. Tell me that Reece Walsh has a passing game and give me examples on a consistent level to show that Reece Walsh should be passing it. And look, to be completely honest with you, it's going to be a penalty of the Broncos. I don't know what happened. To be completely honest with you here, it might be a Michael Maguire thing. He may be deciding and trying to force it, or maybe it is just a Reece Walsh thing. But at the end of the day, why is pushing defender? So Harry Grant's pushed the defender. They might go for the 2 here, the Broncos. They may go for the 2. And that's exactly what they're going to do. The Broncos are going to go for the 2 points here, 15 minutes in. Mitchell says he can't be any worse than that 5-day contract player from the wise words of Daz. Daz a wise man. Jav Farmody says, Reece Walsh, remember to look behind you to pass and not forward. Okay, better living, everybody. That's a bit too complicated there and complex for Reece Peasy, Jared. You got to really start talking on a more childlike level if you want him to understand kind of what you're talking about. You know, you got to stop being selfish and talking like an adult. Start focusing on talking like a child. Dion says he's the best player ever. Who is the best player ever? Who is? Logan says Reece Walsh has the mental maturity of an 11-year-old wanting to be everything everywhere. He does want to be everything everywhere, but with that being said, where's Ezra Mann been? Where's Ben Hunt been? And where's Adam Reynolds been besides taking this kick right now? Alright, so Reno here to make it a 2-point game, and that is what he will do. So it is 2-0 to the Broncos. 24 minutes to go here of the first half. Max Watson says, absolute rocks and diamonds passes. He's got some beauty passes, but not enough to make up for the blunders. I would say that you are somewhat right, but I wouldn't say that. I wouldn't even say it's rocks and diamonds. I'd say it's plenty of rocks and maybe occasional diamonds. I wouldn't say that it's a big part of what I would think with Reece Walsh. Maybe one every 10 passes are fantastic, but I wouldn't necessarily then say it's rocks and diamonds because there's plenty of rocks and maybe a diamond. Everyone says bring in some crayons for Reece Walsh. Jack says right decision here. Take the 2 tight game. They say you need tries to beat the Storm, but this game will be tight. We'll only know if that was the right decision in about 60 minutes time, to be fair. So second tackle now for the Broncos at the 22. And now they go to the left-hand side. Payne Haas. He'll get this ball out here to the 33rd tackle. Logan says, I reckon Reece Walsh should make a decent American running back. No way. Not even close. He'll get slaughtered. Running back? Do you know how big running backs are? No way. Reece would get ripped to pieces as a running back. Ripped to pieces. If anything, you'd probably look towards like a wide receiver. Running back, he would get crunched by... Do you know how big those guys are? Do you know how big the O-line is and the defensive line and whatnot? Do you know how big these guys are? No way. Jared Hayne is was in his prime, double the size of Reece Walsh. And and that was when he was crushing it. No way. I don't know if you understand the running back game I don't think you understand the running back game. Third tackle here at the 35. Mitchell says running back. I've heard it all. Yeah, no, Reece is definitely not a running back. If anything, you'd have to lean with maybe a wide receiver, but that's just not going to happen either. All right, so fourth tackle here at the 45. They go left-hand side to Munster. Munster is Sean Bloor, and Sean Bloor at the 45. Can you... oh, that's going to be a knock-on apparently here from the Melbourne Storm. So knock-on for the Storm. Katoni Staggs with a huge tackle. Yeah, I don't know who's a running back who's even of Reece Walsh's size. Yeah, he definitely loses that ball. Mitchell says, Derrick Henry or Reece Walsh. I wonder who I'll choose. Derrick Henry is 4 times the size of Reece Walsh. Derrick Henry. Like I said, yeah, size-wise he isn't, but he's got the agility and speed. Yeah, but you're not going to be able to do anything with the agility and speed in that game. Unless you have, the size to get through the tackles or... no. Anyway, running back is not possible. Not possible. But I can understand what you're trying to say, but there's no way Reece would be a running back. But I understand what you're trying to allude to, but it's still wrong because he would get absolutely manhandled and monstered by any defensive player. Any. Adam Reynolds at the back now too. Reezy Pacey, and he'll get this ball to the 30 on third tackle. Steve says, Walsh a good player that potentially could be great if he could get over himself. Yeah, I wouldn't disagree with that at all. Ben Hunt now, he'll go to the left to Ezra Mam. Ezra Mam flicks it off to... Well, that's an obstruction if he doesn't go down. He's also gained an extra 4 metres there. Should have been a penalty. Fifth tackle here for the Broncos at the 28. Was that fifth? Is it fourth tackle? Yeah, okay, it was fourth tackle. Now fifth tackle for the Broncos. No, he gets the offload away here, Payne Haas. They go to the left. Ezra Mam flicks it to Selwyn Cobbo. Selwyn Cobbo, they're playing like this as a must-score tackle here. Payne Haas, he'll get the offload away to Paddy Carrigan. And Carrigan's going to jump it. Why are they playing like this is the be-all and end-all this set? Now they're going to flick it off now to Jordan Ricky. And Ricky's going to be taken down here at the 10. I don't understand why they threw the ball around like crazy, but sure, it worked out. Okay, Katoni Staggs. That's 6 again here for the Broncos. 3 metres out from the line. 20 minutes to go here, the first half. Hit that thumbs up button and subscribe. The Broncos 3 metres out. Off to Adam Reynolds. Reynolds to Corey Jensen, and Jensen's going to be 9 metres away from the line. Second tackle. This is just a knock-on-a-thon at the moment, man. Let's see if the Broncos can complete this set, because the Storm are doing very Storm-like things recently. Third tackle now for the Broncos. Now 5 metres out. Third tackle. 19 minutes left. Ben Hunt at the back to Paddy Carrigan. Carrigan's got a chance here. Ezra Mam. Ezra Mam over the top. Intercept by Xavier Coates. He's away. Xavier Coates away here. He's at the 20, the 30, the 35, the 40, the 45, the 50. He's still going, Xavier Coates. 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 Oh, that is beautiful. Oh, I think he's out. I think he's out. I think he's out. I think he's out. I think this is good. I think they've stopped him over the line here. They're going to check this. I don't think this is a try. I think he's been taken out over the sideline just as he's going to get there. I'm pretty certain he goes out here. And yeah, he's going to be out. He's 100%. Oh! Yeah, he's out. Yeah, he's out. I'd love to see that leg, though. Is that leg up or is that leg down? He's still up there. I think he's out. I'm pretty certain he's out. Adam Reynolds is down in back play. What a crazy turn of events just then. I'm pretty certain he's out here. His right knee is going to be out there for sure. You can't prove it, but this is actually really close. I think this could be... The left leg is up. The arm is there from Selwyn Cobbo. This could be a try. This is close. Yeah, this is millimetres. I agree with the commentary here. He went up no try. This might be inconclusive, and they might just go with the on-field call. Because his body is up. His body's up here. This may be a try, dude. It's almost simultaneous. They're going to say it's out simultaneous. That was really close. I can't believe how close I got. So Selwyn Cobbo with a great defensive play to get back into to stop the try there. That was very, very close. But it will be a no try anyway. It will be a no try. Wow, what a first 21 minutes here. Well, there's been a lot of knock-ons, there's been a lot of errors, but at the end of the day, that was a huge... I thought that the pass... I thought they were going to score a try, the Broncos, and then Xavier Coates is too good, puts his hand up in the air. If he doesn't get that touch on the ball and intercept, Broncos will score in the wing, because Coates is clearly well and truly in field there. He's come in with his centre. I don't even know where the centre was, to be fair, but he's come in. So, by the way, Adam Reynolds is injured right now, God bless him, but also Ezra Mam is injured, God bless him. Don't like the guy, but I'll always bless him. Ezra Mam is injured right now, and so is Adam Reynolds. That's both the Brisbane Broncos halves. Ezra Mam is not in the play, and Adam Reynolds is not on the field. Wow, what a crazy turn of events that these last few minutes have been. The Broncos are currently without their two halves. Zach Hewitt says that grass burn his face won't tickle. No, it won't tickle. I don't know what Staggs was doing, by the way. Did Staggs not back his pace in? So that's going to be a little run on the puppy run. Puppy now to the 20. He brings out to the 25. He sets back inside. Gets away from a tackle. And then it'll be taken down to the 30. So Ezra Mam has come off the field here. The Broncos have just been absolutely slaughtered in regards to their halves pairing. So who is going to be their halves? You'd have to assume Billy Walters will come on and be one of their halves. And then maybe they chuck... Maybe... Oh, shit. What do? Ben Hunt to the 7, Billy Walters to the 9, maybe Reece Walsh to the 6, and maybe you push someone cover to the fullback? Oh, shit, I don't know. That's really interesting what the Broncos do if they've got both those halves out. You'd have to shift Ben Hunt into the 7. You'd have to bring on Billy Walters to the 9, and then it just comes down to who you put into the 6 position. Your potential, you could put in Reece Walsh, and then put someone cover to the fullback, and then just shift him with back rows and stuff into the centres. This is really interesting what the Broncos will do from this point. So the Storm will kick this ball into the corner. And Reece Walsh will pick this ball up. Defensively, Reece Walsh was always going to be the fullback. It's just now in regards to the attack. Ben Hunt's still in the 9. So it's both hamstrings. Oh my gosh. Oh, Broncos, that's trouble for you, man. That's trouble for you. That's both your halves. If they have done their hammies, which I touch wood, hope they have not, God bless them, that is for the rest of the regular season, that you are without both of your halves. You'd have to put Ben Hunt into the 7 for the rest of the year. Jeez. Billy Walters is... I think they've put Billy Walters into the... You'd have to put Billy Walters in the 9. Why is Ben Hunt still playing 9? Okay, no, Billy Walters is 9 now. Reece Walsh has kicked that, so I'm assuming Reece Walsh is 6, Selwyn Cubbo is 1. I'm assuming. That was a good kick from Reece Walsh as well. So Pappenhausen brings it out to the 15, to the 20, and it's going to be first tackle. Lagans, just take the 9 off. That's all right. It's best for you and everyone if you don't ever get back on. Agree. Zach Hewitt says, I'm disappointed the Bronx have a Kia Tasman sponsor, not a Ford Ranger. Hold on. So third tackle now for the Storm at the 30. Oh, okay. So I was looking at text messages, guys. Fourth tackle now for the Melbourne Storm, and they'll be at the 33. Logan says, bring Shipper to the 6. He can do everything with the goatee. He's got a goatee. You know, you're back in a goatee. If you've got a goatee, you know it's game over. You know it's game over, son. Storm with a good offload here, right-hand side. Elliot Katoa gives it off to Grant Anderson, and Anderson's going to be at the 50 on fifth tackle. Shipper J's the season over. If that is hammy for both those guys, that is brutal for the Broncos. Actually brutal. But they are still up 2-0 here with 15 minutes to go in the first half. What is Reece Walsh doing? Gets it across to Dean Mariner, but that is risky business. And Dean Mariner will drop this ball at the 15. So for context, was referring to man driving a Ranger. Yeah, I understood the context, mate. I am just going to skip over it as quickly as I possibly can. Third tackle now for the Broncos, and they'll beat the 33. 15 to go the first half. Wonder what the next 55 minutes of Broncos tackle will look like now. It's not going to look very attacky. Not going to look very attack. Fourth tackle here with the Broncos at the 40. Now Shibasaki, dummy, gives it off to Staggs. And Staggs is going to be at the 45 fifth tackle. Look, Broncos win this game. It's your greatest win of the season. And it will tell us a lot about your resilience and who you are as a team. If you can find a way to win this against all odds, you've got to really take your hat off to... Oh, that's going to be a good bounce. David Coates will pick it up at the 5. That's a really good bounce to the Broncos. That is a really, really good bounce to the Broncos. Keep voting in the poll, guys. We're at Melbourne Storm 51%, 49% for the Brisbane Broncos. Keep voting in the poll in the chat. All right, so third tackle now for the Storm at the 15. 14 minutes to go. Lagan says, in hindsight, that 2 points is a mortal level knowledge from Renault. Well, like it was the obvious choice. They obviously didn't need to go with that, but it was the obvious choice. Fifth tackle now for the Storm at the 33. Jim Masters, did they both get hamstring injuries when running after that intercept? I believe so. I believe that's what we've been told in the commentary. I did hear both hamstring complaints. I don't think there was a guarantee that they've done their hammies. Here we go. Adam Reynolds' night is over. Ezra Mam's night is also over. Yeah, they're both out for with injuries. So the rest of the game, the Broncos will not have Adam Reynolds or Ezra Mam. Adam Reynolds and Ezra Mam are off for the rest of the game, both with hamstring complaints, which potentially could be regular season. So third tackle, Billy Walters gives it off to Cubby Hetherington. And also, mind you, that means the Broncos are down to 2 players on the bench for the rest of the game. So now Ben Hunt out to Reece Walsh. Reece Walsh going to have to really stand up. He gives it off to Dean Mariner. And Dean Mariner taking down at the 33. Fit tackle. And they'll give it across here. Left-hand side of Reece Walsh, who is now the main man for the kicking game. And he'll chase it hard too. At least he's starting to really show something. Pass the ball, Jordan Ricky. That's stupid, Jordan Ricky. That's stupid play. Pass the ball, mate. You have a 3 on... Look, the Storm have defense covering, but you've still got space on the right-hand side. Pass the ball, Jordan Ricky. This is 2 times we've seen Jordan Ricky kick the ball here today. That should be a high tackle here. This should be a penalty. Should have been a penalty against the Broncos just then. Elias and Katoa, he'll bump off 1. This is good defense for the Broncos at the moment. It's just going to be an issue later on in the game if they are to get tired. Right-hand side for the Storm, and they'll get this ball at the 22, 4th tackle. At least the Broncos' last 4 games isn't too bad besides versing Melbourne again. You're kidding. Pappenhausen at the 45. You're kidding. Hold on, what are the Broncos' last 4 games again? I'm pretty certain they've got a really tough run home. They play the Dolphins next week, which is a tough game. That's a big spiral kick. The Broncos are going to drop it. Storm going to 6 again. Storm are going to score. Storm are going to score. Storm might have a score. No, they won't. 15 metres out, though. They let the ball bounce at the Broncos, and they drop the ball. And now the Storm get a 0 tackle set. 15 metres out. Munster, right inside. Tyron Wishart steps. He goes. Steps inside himself. He's 3 metres out. He's got a try. Tyron Wishart. Well done. Well done, Tyron Wishart. That's huge, and the Melbourne Storm will score to take the lead 4-2, and I don't see the Storm losing from here now. And that was a Broncos injury. Oh, no. Oh, no, the Broncos are going to lose another player. Oh, the Broncos are going to lose another player, lads. Oh, no. It's Selwyn Cobbo. You're going to be down to 1 player on the bench the rest of the game, Broncos. God bless him. Oh, dude, you're getting pieced apart by injuries right now, Brisbane. You are getting absolutely pieced apart by injuries. So this looks... I hope Selwyn Cobbo's okay, but he is still down in back play. You have lost both of your halfback and your 5'8", and now you are going to lose a winger. You are going to be down to 1 player on the bench for the rest of the game against Melbourne in Melbourne. Storm should run away with this. They really should. If they don't, it tells you a lot about them. 30 minutes in, 10 minutes to go here of the first half. Hit that like button, guys. Subscribe if you're new around here. Don't forget, we will be live for every single game this round as per usual. Broncos Sports says, try time, bing bong, mudda beach. Try time, bing bong, mudda beach. Langan says, wasn't Cobbo meant to be fullback replacement too? Whoa, that's a good point. I didn't even think about that. Oh, fuck. What do they do now? Reece Walsh is their 6. Cobbo was their fullback. Who goes to their fullback if he is injured? I don't know if he's up and... No, he's still down around the try line right now. 1 second. Nick Meaney here for the conversion to make it 6-2. He will make the kick. So it is 6-2 to the Melbourne Storm with 10 minutes to go here the first half. So if Cobbo is injured, which I hope he isn't, maybe you put... Stags fullback? Shit. Oh, man. Mate, Shibasaki you can't do. I guess Stags is going to have to go back there if that's the case. Reece Walsh is obviously going to defend as a fullback. He'll defend as a fullback, but attacking-wise, he'll be the 5'8". Jeez, the Broncos are in trouble here. Again, Broncos fans, if you can win this game... It's one of your greatest wins of all time. One of your greatest wins of all time, you can find a way. Dolphins, Knights, Cowboys, Storm, and last 4 for Brisbane should win too. Not necessarily. Dolphins is a top 8 battle for the Dolphins. They need to win that game. The Knights are avoiding the spoon, plus also the Broncos now won't have their halves. And the Knights are a team that are quite gritty and can grind out results, even though they are down the bottom of the table. The Knights could absolutely do something there. They're a tricky opponent. Then you've got the Cowboys, who, yes, the Cowboys are shithouse, but it's a rivalry game, like Manly and Melbourne. Manly shithouse, quite shithouse. But yet they went down to Melbourne and beat Melbourne in a rivalry game. Rivalry games, anything can happen, man. Look at the Titans against the Broncos the last couple of years. Broncos have been above the Titans multiple times, and yet until this year, the Titans beat them every single time. So the point is, in rivalry games, you never ever guarantee something. So that's their biggest rivalry. So you look at that and say, well, maybe the Cowboys can get something there. And then their last game against the Melbourne Storm tells you everything you need to know. There's going to be a penalty there, I reckon. No, they're going to say it's fine. So Reece Walsh will be taken out of the 25 first tackle. Mitchell says, let Munster take the kicks at this point. They shouldn't... Oh, let Munster take the kicks. Deary me. He's up but limping. Yeah, I want to see... Okay, so he's out in the wing, Selwyn Cobbo, mind you. So who... So, yeah, so Reece Walsh is... Where's the fullback? I think Reese is in at fullback. Oh, Paynas has lost the ball. Oh, it's a penalty. So Reese is still playing in at fullback right now. So they must be playing. They're playing like a hybrid. They're playing like a hybrid here, the Broncos. Look, he's definitely in fullback position back there, Reese. So Melbourne Storm are going to challenge this call here. I think they might be successful. Zach says, if we lose, put us on scam. I will. No, you can't go straight there. You can't. Well, you'd argue it. Oh, Josh King hand there. I think he's just lost that. There's no stripping motion there. There's no stripping motion there. His hand's on the ball, but there's no stripping motion. Or maybe. Oh, I disagree, but sure. It's going to be a penalty here, the Broncos. I disagree, but sure. So penalty here to the Broncos. And a challenge unsuccessful from the Storm. So they will lose their challenge. They'll lose it. All right, Dean Mariner, he'll get this ball inside now. So the Broncos, when they attack and set, they'll be 28 metres out. You can against this. Yeah, I would agree with that. I think you can put a team straight onto scam, even though they'll skip over fraud on the basis that, like, they're at home. They're against a team outside of the top four who have been very up and down recently. The Broncos have 2 injuries in their halves, plus also just players all over the shop injured. Broncos will be taken down to the 10, third tackle. I understand it. I probably would agree with you. Out to the left, Billy Walters goes at himself, and he's going to be 3 metres out, fourth tackle. Is he still on a try-scoring streak, Olivia, Broncos fans? Samuel says, please, we want to see full videos. Please get a job. Fourth tackle now, 3 metres out. Ben Hunt with the ball, 15 metres out, kicks it through. Oh, the bounce is not great, and Pappenhausen's going to pick it up, though. And he's going to get this ball out here to the 10. All right, so first tackle, 10 metres out. The reason I respond to you like that, Samuel, is because 1, you are looking for an illegal stream. 2, you know you're looking for an illegal stream. And 3, the word illegal means you can't watch it without having the broadcasting rights. And guess what? The broadcasting rights cost about $1 billion, $2 billion, maybe $4 billion to watch the game. So obviously, due to broadcasting restrictions, I cannot show you. Fourth tackle, but you know this. You know this because you've probably typed in illegal streams. Lamusu, unfortunately, you have been timed out because you said Storm with an S at the end of it, which is incorrect. There is no S at the end of Storm. It is Storm, but there's only been 1 try, and that was from Tyron Wishart. Tyron Wishart scored the try for the Melbourne Storm. All right, so the Broncos will pick this ball up into the 20, and Selwyn Cobbo is going to bring it out to the 30 on first tackle. Sean James says, I'm glad I have a good imagination with your callers. I have no TV to watch it. Yeah, well, like, that's the best way to do it is to obviously watch the on TV or watch it online. Do you not have Watch NRL? I know you're in Thailand. In Thailand, I watch it on Watch NRL now. If you're international, it does cost like $40 a month Australian, but obviously I don't need it. Jordan Ricky gets his ball out here to the 45, third tackle. Ray Murphy says Reynolds injured. Reynolds is injured. Also, Ezra Mam. Ezra Mam and Reynolds is off of the game. Apparently hamstring complaints. If it's a hamstring injury, touch wood, it's not, but if it is, they're off for scans right now. They'll be out for the regular season. So fifth tackle now with the Broncos, or maybe their first game back is against the Storm in the last round of the season, but I doubt it. So Ben Hunt now will whack that ball up to about the 10 or so. The Storm let it bounce. It's going to bounce awfully here for the Broncos. Now Billy Walters goes back to the 40, now to the 43. Now Reece Walsh is going to have to kick it again. Oh my gosh, you're out of control, Reece Walsh. If this works out, this is on Dean Mariner. Well done, Dean Mariner, for making something like that. Reece, stop trying to be the creator of passing the ball. Just kick the ball there. Use your feet, dude. He is awful with his passes, dude. He really is. Lagan says illegal doesn't mean it's illegal, mate. Time to get serious. Yeah, look, I need to get serious, mate. You know, we're a very serious channel over here. Very, very serious channel. Good to see Cobbo still playing. Of course it is, yeah. Because otherwise the Broncos would have been in some serious trouble. Pappenhausen gets away from Ricky, gives it off to Harry Grant, off to Money Munster, then to Tyron Wishart. Some very quick hands here from the Melbourne Storm, and they'll beat the 50. And 6 again on fifth tackle is brutal for the Broncos. Now Munster's 35 metres out. Someone says rocks or shit. I think that's the saying for Walsh. Well, Walsh is great when he just plays with his feet and doesn't play with his hands. He's a big hands player, mate. Big, massive hands player. Loves a good old hands play. Harry Grant gets through. He's 5 metres out from the line. Forward tackle. Just you on the stream will do me. Appreciate you, Sean. So 5 metres out. Tyron Wishart to Pappenhausen. Pappenhausen to the 10. Short inside. Taking that 3 metres out. Fit tackle. Now Harry Grant, he's going to go to the left-hand side, up to Xavier Coates, and I don't know who's touched this. Who touched this? Off Broncos? Yep, it's going to be Storm ball at 10. That was a cheeky kick from Harry Grant. Nearly worked out for Xavier Coates, but it will be a knock-on there from the Broncos. That's a very cheeky kick. But yeah, definitely knock-on from Dean Mariner. Also, Dean Mariner had a big play at that. He had a big play to pick that up and run the length. But obviously knocks it on. So Storm 10 metres out. Like I said, Storm are lucky they didn't activate Brisbane's secret immortal weapon, 18th man, Tyson Smoothie. Well, there was no foul play for any of the injuries. Tyron Wishart, to Elliot Katoa, 5 metres out. I worry for the score in the second half if the Storm score this set. I really do. If the Broncos stop this and don't concede here, I think, they've done well. But if they concede here, I think the game's well and truly over. Second tackle at the 13. I just don't think the Broncos have enough attack in them with Noah Reynolds or Ezra. So Munster is going to be 5 metres out from the line now. Third tackle, 3 metres out. Gets the offload away. Still second tackle. Harry Grant fakes it, gets it across. Here comes Nick Meaney. He'll be taking out of the 5. Good rush up defence there from Selwyn Cobber. Otherwise, that was a guaranteed try. 6 again here for the Melbourne Storm. Yeah, and that's a penalty. That might be a bin here. They may ban him. No, they're going to keep him out. They're going to keep him out there. Payne Haas very close to getting the bin there for a professional foul, but they'll all say it's fine. So just penalty foul play. 2 minutes for you to go in the first half. Don't go for the 2, Melbourne. I reckon you try and put him to bed right now. You score here, you put him to bed, I reckon. You score here, you probably put him to bed. Storm at the 15. Munster to Pappenhausen. Pappenhausen goes in himself. Pappenhausen inside, and that should be game for mine. 10-2 with the kick to come. Pappenhausen has scored. Too easy. And Melbourne... If you think the Broncos come back from here, it's going to be a miracle. Absolute miracle for them to come back with no Reynolds and Ezra Mem. Ray Murphy says Reynolds is forever getting injured and he just signed a new contract. I agree with that thought process, Ray. I know what you're trying to say. He does get injured quite a lot, and yeah, he's just signed a new contract. But the thing is that with the Brisbane Broncos, Reynolds is going to stay around. Like Kieran Foran of the Titans, right? Foz isn't going to be a part of the club going forward in regards to being a player, but he's going to be a part of the club in regards to being a half. So if he wanted to play that extra year, they're going to do that, which is what they've done with Reynolds at the Broncos. And he is going to obviously stick around and be valuable long-term with the Broncos. So they're always going to keep him happy, because otherwise he could obviously look elsewhere. But the point of the matter is that, yeah, it's very frustrating for Brisbane because they have gone all in on Renault to get a premiership, and unfortunately 2023 obviously didn't happen, and I can't see them doing it this year. And they have really built around a very aging halves, because they've got Adam Reynolds in the 7, they've got Ben Hunt in the 9. Now Ben Hunt could go to the 7 if Adam Reynolds gets injured, but the thing is Ben Hunt is older than Adam Reynolds, I'm pretty certain. Let's give a look here. Google Ben Hunt age. So he is 35 years old. I'm pretty certain Adam Reynolds is pretty similar, if not 34. No, he's 35 as well. So July 10, March 27. So Ben Hunt is actually older. So the point of the matter is that who do they go forward? Are they going to go with Kobe Black, the youngster coming up, or is he ready yet? To take over. It's a lot of pressure being the halfback for the Brisbane Broncos, and geez, he gets the kick, but it was close. 12-2 here to the Melbourne Storm with 47 seconds to go in the first half. Point of the matter is that, yeah, they are coming to the point, the crux of when they need to decide what they do going forward, and that is who their halfback is, because I don't think it realistically should be Ben Hunt. I think they need to probably start looking towards the future, but do they believe in a halves pairing of Kobe Black and Ezra Mem? Olivia says I'm going to bed. It's still 10 points here, Olivia. I'm just giving you my personal opinion. This game might not be over yet. It'll be a miracle for mine if you do it, but this game might not be over yet. I wouldn't be too down in the dumps. It is just going to be half time, 45 seconds to go. As long as you don't concede in this last 42 seconds. I don't think the Broncos have enough attack in them, and if the Storm concede from here, I'm removing them from the table. If they lose from here, I'm not even putting them on scam. They're going straight to removing from the table. Like it says, can't believe there are only 2 players left to debut before the 2010s with Foz and Hunt. Oh, really? They're the last 2, are they? The old Foz and Benny Hunt? Alright, third tackle now for the Storm. I'll get this ball to the 23. And good run if Mary Grant gets it out to Grant Anderson, sorry. Grant Anderson at the 40 on fourth tackle. Like I think they want to develop Ezra into the 7. So who they put? No, what? What? What on earth? No way. Kobe Black's a pure 7 coming through. Why would they develop Ezra into a 7? So what are they, developing Reece Walsh into a 5'8"? Well, then who are they playing in the fullback? What? Who said this? That's ridiculous in the Broncos if that's the case. No way. Broncos fans, that's a Bulldogs fan. Can you tell me if what he's saying is apparently true? Surely not. Surely not. That'd be silly. That'd be so silly. That'd be so silly. But anyway, it's half-time here, 12-2 to the Melbourne Storm. Hit that like button and subscribe if you're new around here. We'll get to the stats in a second. Blah, blah, blah says Melbourne would have to really take the foot off the pedal and park the bus to choke it from here, unfortunately. Well, I just don't think the Broncos should have enough attacking and with no Reynolds and no Ezra Mem. Crippy says we look like a different team. What? Boy, you trying to say this has been a great Melbourne Storm performance? This has been fine, but nothing spectacular. Are you saying this is like really good? I don't know. Stu James is Hawks 51, Pies 23, 4 minutes to half time. Go to Hawks. One of Lagan's mates would have said it. Fake news. I just don't understand the thought process. Why would that ever have been a thought process for the Brisbane Broncos? I don't believe it. Like if it's true, then it's true, but surely not. You know what I'm saying? Like, surely that's not a thought process at Brisbane. You've got Ezra Mam, who is a 6. You've got Kobe Black, who is one of the best young up-and-coming prospects in the halves department across the game, coming through at the Belly Bear. I think he's Belly Bears, but coming through for the Broncos. And maybe not Belly Bears, actually. It might be Wynnum. I can't remember. It's either Wynnum, Manly Seagulls, or the Burleigh Bears. Broncos fans, you can help me out here. But there's absolutely no way that I'd be putting Ezra into the 7, because then who's going to the 6? It's like you haven't developed a 6 there. Kobe Black is a 7, so you wouldn't change him into a 6 and change Ezra to the 7. Wouldn't make any sense. Blah, blah, blah. So would be one of the Broncos' greatest wins if they somehow came back and Melbourne should be folded. They lose. Agree. Crippen says, trust me, this is the best we've looked in weeks in terms of discipline and the way our spine are playing off each other. Yeah, I watch you every week, mate, so I don't need to trust you. But the point is that like the Storm are going up against a team right now who have lost both of their halves. There is no Ezra Mem. There is no Adam Reynolds. And you are still kind of struggling to break them down. You should win this game by a country mile on the basis that the Broncos probably fall apart from here. And last week is a little bit of a telltale sign. I don't think the Broncos have played too bad, but we'll go through the stats. I'm going to have to slightly disagree with you. From a neutral perspective, I will say that the Storm have been okay, but you're still 17 from 23 completions. I wouldn't say this has been a dramatic Melbourne Storm performance by any stretch of the imagination. Again, you were leading 12-2, don't get me wrong, but I think you're about to be surprised by your error count. But all right, let's get into the stats here, guys. Let's get into the stats and rock and roll. Thumbs up and subscribe. So the Melbourne Storm lead 12-2. The try scorers have been Tyrone Wishart and a little more on the Bubby Ryan Pappenhausen. Now, the possession is 54% to the Melbourne Storm and 46% here to the Brisbane Broncos. So relatively even, but definitely in advantage to the Melbourne Storm. The time of possession is 16 minutes and 15 seconds for the Storm, 13 minutes and 24 seconds for the Broncos, and the completion rate is 73% for the Melbourne Storm. Everything above 80% is great. Anything under 80% is not great. The Storm are at 73%, and so are the Broncos. Storm are at 17 from 23. The Brisbane Broncos are at 14 from 19. Both at 73%. Both not hitting the mark there. Both making too many errors. Now, attacking-wise, all runs. The Melbourne Storm are at 108 runs for 1,073 run meters, whilst the Broncos are at 92 runs for 794 run meters. Now, the Storm are absolutely whooping them in the meters department, even if you try to equate it. So the Broncos, so you average out at 10 meters per run, all right? The Broncos are at 794 for 92, so they're not quite at the 10 meters per run on average. The Storm, they are pretty much exactly at 10 meters on average per run. So look, even if you try to equate it, the Storm are still whooping them. But if you give the Broncos a 10 meters per average, which is 16 extra runs to 160 metres. It's not an exact metric, but a basic metric would put them at 894, 950, which is still 120 metres separating the Storm and the Broncos. So the Storm are killing them in regards to the run metres department. And even if you equate it via a bad metric against the Storm side, it's still really bad for the Broncos. They're not making the metres because they don't have any halves direction. Post-contact metres is 322 for the Storm, 260 for the Broncos. Difficult metric to equate, but the Storm are pretty much in advantage on both sides. Definitely on the what we can see, but also the equating it, you would still say the Storm are in advantage by about at least 22 to 30. Now, line breaks is 4-0 to the Melbourne Storm. Just quickly, Cryptic, you're entitled to your opinion, bro. Don't think that I'm telling you you're wrong. I'm just saying my opinion, and then you can piece your opinion with my opinion, and then put it together, and then you can have that thought process. So don't think that I'm saying that you're wrong. It's just that I have a differing opinion. Now, line breaks is 4-0 to the Melbourne Storm. Tackle breaks is 24-12 to the Melbourne Storm. So the Broncos are missing quite a few tackles here. Now, this proves the point in regards to the average set distance. So anything under 25 is pathetic. You turn the stream off, it's not even worth your time. 25 to 30 is very much disgusting. You wouldn't even spit at it. 30 to 35 is underwhelming. 35 to 40 is average, what you expect hitting the marker. 40 to 45 is great. 45 to 50 is fantastic, and 50 plus is incredible, perfect, bellissimo. Bellissimo. Now the Broncos, they're at 41.82. So that's really good. That's actually a really great average head distance there at 41.82. You're not really complaining with it. Now, like I said, they're not making as many metres as the Melbourne Storm. Well, that's because the Storm are 46.65 on the average set distance. So the Broncos, they're separated by 5 metres from the Storm, which is a pretty significant amount in this game. But 41.82 is low end of the great category. 46.65 for the Melbourne Storm is mid-range of the excellent, the fantastic category there. So the Storm are getting a lot of metres. So the Broncos, but the Storm obviously edging it out. Now, average play the ball speed, 3.34 seconds there for the Storm, 3.61 seconds for the Broncos. That is getting to the fastest side for the Melbourne Storm. That is quite fast. While for the Broncos, 3.61, that is quite slow. That is getting to the really slow side. Offloads is 8-6 Melbourne Storm, so both teams getting some offloads here. Doesn't surprise me. Forced dropouts is 1-0 Melbourne Storm. Kick defusal, 43% for the Storm, 57% for the Broncos. And we go down to the effective tackle percentage. This is where the game is going to be lost here for the Brisbane Broncos. Anything from 85% and below is pathetic. You don't even want to look at it. It's ridiculous. It's something that is just pathetic. 85% to 88% is underwhelming. 88% to 90% is hitting the marker, average, and solid enough. 90% and above is a perfect first half. The Melbourne Storm at 89.85, so just under the perfect first half there defensively. It was very, very good. 89.85% is extremely high on the solid category. 177 tackles made for 12 missed tackles and 8 ineffective. That's 20 bad tackles overall. It's not too shabby at all. 89.85% is solid. The Broncos are not at 85%. They're at 84.05%. They have 195 tackles made for 24 missed tackles and 13 ineffective. So the average amount of missed tackles in a half is usually between maybe 14 and 17. 14 is still on the lower end. Maybe 15 and 17 is kind of the average. No, include 14. 14 and 17 would be the average amount of missed tackles that you see from teams in a first half. So on that metric, the Storm are better than that with 12 missed tackles. But on that metric, the Broncos are 7 missed tackles more than the higher point of the average. So it's really poor defensively from the Broncos. And then ineffective tackles wise, 8 is very limited. Not extremely, but it's a solid amount, 8. Whilst 13 with the Broncos is probably around the average. So missed tackles wise, Storm very much better. Broncos very much worse. Ineffective tackles wise, pretty much like normal for the Storm, and the Broncos pretty much worse. So defensively, the Broncos aren't doing well here. Now, negative play, 6 errors to the Melbourne Storm. That's around the average marker. 7 errors to the Broncos. The issue for the Storm, though, is that that's pretty much what the amount of errors they've been making in recent weeks in the first halves. Like, they have been making this amount of errors. This is not a surprising stat line there. That is not a surprising stat line for the Melbourne Storm. This is how they've been doing a lot, likely, recently. Now, this is on the average area of 6 to 7. Maybe, yeah, I'll go 6 to 8. No, 6-7 is probably the average. Anything above 8 and above is pathetic, and anything below No, 5 to 7 is the average. 4 and below is fantastic. 5 to 7 is the average, and then 8 and above is really bad. So the Broncos are at 7, Storm at 6. Penalties conceded 2-2. So you have been more disciplined at the Melbourne Storm. You're still at 2 though. You're not giving away 10 penalties like you did last week. That's 8 penalties separating, but that's also with an extra half included. You're probably going to end up at about the 4 to 5 range, maybe the 4, I'd probably say, which would be pretty good, which is just doubling it, but I don't see you giving away too many penalties today because I don't see the Broncos having enough discipline themselves, and the ruck infringements is 1 apiece. So, look, overall, errors are similar, penalties are similar. The defense is appalling for the Broncos, but pretty damn well solid for the Melbourne Storm. If that's the defense the Broncos go with the second half, they will get slaughtered here, especially with the fact they have no halves now. The offloads is pretty similar. The play the ball speed very fast. Well, not very fast, but fast enough. I don't know what that was. But fast enough. I don't know. I just heard. That was weird. Fast enough for the Storm, whilst for the Broncos, it's quite slow. And then, yeah, look, overall, the meters is just well advanced for the Melbourne Storm. So it is half time. We're at 12-2. I just don't think they have the, yeah, I don't know if they have the ability here, the Broncos, to come back with no halves, but it's going to be interesting to see the second half. Monkey Muay Thai says, no way Haas actually played a full half. Did he really? I'll go look. He has played, 40 minutes. Yeah, Payne Haas played the full 40 minutes, man. They do need him right now, man. They're down at 2 on the bench. The reason why he's having to play that is because they have lost Adam Reynolds and Ezra Mann not to foul play, so that means they can't activate the 18th man. They are down to 2 men on the bench for the rest of the game. Grippy says, I'm understanding you as you go through the stats. End of the day, it's hard to judge playing against a team with no halves. Agree, yeah. Agree. I'm going to read these timeouts here. Mikhail says, so unfair. What's unfair, buddy? What do Broncos fans do? Oh, you're saying unfair in regards to the injuries. Fair enough. No, that's valid. That's valid. What did you say though? Tylen answer. Katoni needs to go back to centre because Jack is. Why did I miss something with Mikhail? Oh, probably the capitalise. Okay, because you're capitalising. I get it. And Olivia's not having it. Tylen says Katoni needs to go back to centre because Jakasevsky versus Pappenhausen is nightmare stuff for us Broncos fans. Katoni needs to go back to centre. So what, is Katoni playing wing, is he? I haven't even really looked at it. Where's Katoni playing? The Reddit says, hi mate, you reckon the Broncos might fall out of the 8 without the 2 halves? Yes, potentially. Potentially. I don't think that's a guarantee, but I would say it's pretty likely that the Broncos will struggle because let's assume they lose this game here, right? So the Broncos are playing the Storm today. They're down 12-2. I doubt they win from here. So then they will stay on 28 points. Now, if they win this game today, they go top 4, by the way. If they lose this game, the Sharks will play the Dragons. You would assume the Sharks win that, so the Broncos will fall to 7th position. And the Dolphins play the Roosters. Now, look, the Broncos don't mind who wins that game. Because if the Dolphins win, the Broncos will go to 8th, but the Roosters will still be 4 points below where the Broncos are at. Manly still play the Raiders, so they'll be 2 points behind if Manly can win that, but it's against the Raiders. So you would assume Manly lose that game, and if the Dolphins beat the Roosters, the Broncos go to 8th. If the Roosters beat the Dolphins, the Broncos stay in 7th, but the Roosters are now also extremely close to jumping over the Brisbane Broncos, right? It means they'll be 2 points short. And then it just brings a whole world of pain to next week's game for the Broncos, which would make it a must-win game because the Roosters could equalise them, and then there's still like 3 games to go, right? So the Broncos this week, they lose, could finish off in 8th, 4 points above Roosters, maybe 2 points above Manly, but probably 4 points above both those guys. But the thing is that they play the Dolphins. The Dolphins are a very tough game next week. And then they play the Knights, who's a tricky opponent, and it's in Newcastle. And then they play their biggest rivals in Townsville, not in Brisbane, in Townsville, and then they play the Melbourne Storm again. So do I think the Broncos don't make it? I think the Broncos make it. I think they do, but it is very tentative. It is very tentative, yeah. Monkey Muay Thai says, for real, Haas should be an 80-minute player, but barely clocks 55 a week. Good to see a full half. He needed to, yeah. He needed to. Oh, Tony's 5'8". See, this is what I was wondering, Jeebus, because I was expecting Reece Walsh to go to the 5'8", Selwyn Cobbo to go to the fullback, and then they shift centres and wings and whatnot. But obviously, they've put Stags in. And I understand that now. I didn't even think that option because I forgot that Stags played 5'8" for Tonga, and I forgot the Stags can play 5'8". Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. I didn't even acknowledge that. Completely forgot it. I completely forgot it. Jack Kirkland says, who will be Broncos halfback then? Well, Ben Hunt. Ben Hunt goes to 7. Billy Walters is a 9. Billy Walters is a 9, and Ben Hunt has been 7 for a lot of his career. So, of course, you're going to be putting Ben Hunt into the 7 and then Billy Walters into the 9. It makes the most sense. So, the Storm are coming out here for the second half, guys. Get to the chat. Let us know what you think in regards to this scoreline. Hit that thumbs up button and subscribe. Do not forget we will be live for every single game this round, and we will be live for both games tomorrow, which is the Knights versus Panthers, which is actually a big game for the cheating Panthers, and the Raiders Manly is a huge game for both those teams for different context. Raiders, by the way, the Storm winning this game, the Raiders will go to second, and the Melbourne Storm will go to first until tomorrow. And then if the Raiders win, they go back to first. If the Raiders lose, then they will go to potentially third this round. The Raiders could drop from first to third, or they could stay in first. Lagan says, Chuck Walsh in a prop at this point. May as well. Yeah, live ladder, Melbourne Storm in first, Broncos in sixth. But it depends on the Sharks and also the Dolphins. And don't forget, Broncos fans, the Dolphins also still have a bye to come. No! Who has the bye? There is a bye still to come. Maybe the Dolphins do have a bye. Hold on. I could be right here. Or maybe they don't. Maybe they just had it. Raiders a bye next week. Sharks the bye. No, then it's Rabbitohs. They don't have a bye. Then it's Rabbitohs, and then it's Cowboys. Yeah, no, I was wrong. Sorry. I think they had a bye 2 weeks ago, didn't they? Last week or 2 weeks ago. Maybe it is when I'm thinking. All right, second half is underway here, guys. Thumbs up and subscribe. Second tackle for the Broncos. They're going to get this ball to the 25. Second tackle. Johnson Storm 24-12. I don't think the Broncos have enough in them to score 2 tries. I don't know where they get that from. I know Stags has won a game for Tonga against Australia, but let's also really reinforce here that people don't recognise this. Ignore Tonga fans, let them celebrate. But for people who are Australian or from other countries, please respect and understand that Australia versus Tonga game in 2017 was a friendly match. Outside of that game, Tonga has never beaten Australia before, and Stags is just simply not a good 5'8". Like I just refuse to acknowledge it. But it's also been a long time between drinks, so I don't think that he's good enough there in the 5'8 department. And I think that Ben Hunt has not been exactly star-studded here at the Broncos, and was fine. Maybe not last year for the Dragons, but overall was a pretty good halfback for the Dragons. But he's 35 years old now, so you can't rely on him. I just don't know if they're going to be able to break through the Storm defense. Let's remember the Storm do have a 355 defensive points against them, whilst the only team better than them is the Bulldogs at 320. The Storm have scored 140 more points than the Bulldogs, but the Storm have only conceded 30 more points than the Bulldogs. That's worrying signs. The Storm could still win this comp. All right, so the Storm now will get this ball to the 45 on third tackle. And now Joel Jim says Storm 22, Broncos 18. I just don't... where's this Broncos points coming from? I don't understand why people are backing in these Broncos points. No, you are a dog, Sundo. You are a dog. I'm going to wait until the Roosters game to time you out. No, I'm going to time you out now, but we're going to see you during the Roosters game, and I'm going to time you out then. Oh, no, because the Roosters are going to be... Where do the Roosters play in Sydney or in Redcliffe? They play... Suncorp. So you will be here for the game, Sundo. Oh, okay. I'll be timing you out there, you offside G something bitch. So it's going to be a third tackle now for the Broncos, and they'll get this ball to the 45 on the attacking side of the field. Which the top 11 would look so much better on. Top 11 would look so much better on this ladder. No, Mitchell, no, that's not what happens here. No. That's not what happens here, Mitchell. We're a very serious channel, buddy. Very serious channel. So the Storm will get the ball to 5 through Xavier Coates, and it'll be first tackle. Trying to chip over Coates is a little silly. What are you talking about? Let's just put Payne Haas at 5'8". Look, Tyron, with the way the Broncos are falling like flies right now, I think it's probably going to be a possibility soon. I think it's a possibility. Davis has got to feel sorry for the Broncos to lose both halves in the same moment. I definitely don't feel sorry for the Broncos, but I feel sorry for the humans. So the Storm now will get this ball in the committee to the 30, fourth tackle. The real Kiffy says, Walsh should back up the forwards more and look for the offload. Absolutely agree, but I think that this is a very difficult game to do that in because he's got so much responsibility on his shoulders now, and we've all seen that when Reece Walsh has more responsibility on his shoulders, he definitely chucks it away under pressure. He chucks it away under pressure. He can be such an electric player, but he can also throw it away under pressure, and he's just got too much pressure and responsibility in this game now. And I just don't think he's going to have that. I just don't think he's going to do it. But I agree with what you're saying. Second tackle now for the Broncos at the 30. At the 30. That live ladder's wrong. We're second still. That is incorrect. No, the live ladder, you are in first. I don't know what you're talking about. The live ladder, you will go to 36 points. You have a points differential of plus 228. The Raiders have a plus 152. Add on the 10 points that you've got here. You are on plus 238. If you're going to try and utilize the bye thought process, it's like no, because the bye isn't this week for the Raiders. Live ladder, you are in first position. Zacchaeus. Zacchaeus is Titans are first, mate. I'll put my hand up and I'll say I was incorrect. You know, it's on me. You know, it's on me, buddy. So it's going to be Storm Ball here at the 20. It's on me, you know. Sometimes I forget how good my team is. Sometimes you just forget, Zach. You know, it's very silly. Very, very silly. Very, very silly. All right, so Harry Grant on first tackle. Passes it off, and they'll be at the 25. Sometimes you just really forget the greatness of the Gold Coast, buddy. You just do. Elliot Katoa gets his ball out here to the 37. Second tackle. And now Trent Loiero to Munster. Munster steps inside and he's going to bring it to about the 45, third tackle. He might get the offload away here. No, he doesn't. Now Harry Grant goes quickly. He's been good today, Harry Grant. Really good. They get it out to the right-hand side. And it's going to be Jack Howarth underneath. That was good spacing. Good spacing. Grant Anderson. He'll get this ball to the 38. It'll be fourth tackle. Oh, that's arguably a penalty there against the Broncos. Wow, I can't believe they actually haven't given that. And now Tyron Wishart. Wishart at the 35. Munster. Munster kicks his ball in the corner. Xavier Coates chasing it through. Xavier Coates chasing it through. It's going to have to be a dropout here. Yeah, well done, Xavier. Well done, Xavier. Xavier chased that one through. Dean Mariner picks it up, and it will be a dropout. Really good work there by Xavier Coates. The Papua New Guinean flyer. Papua New Guinean flyer. That was good stuff. And it was a great kick as well. It was a fantastic kick as well. And Dean Mariner gets slapped on down. 34 minutes left. So Ben Hunt with a short dropout. It's a perfect 1-2. I think that's a... Oh, no. Storm are going to score. Oh, my gosh. Nick Meaney is going to score a try. I want to make sure the Storm don't knock this ball on, but it was actually a perfect dropout that ended up in the worst nightmare for the Brisbane Broncos. It's the try that Nick Meaney and the Melbourne Storm, they're up 16-2 with the kick to come. I want to make sure there's no knock-on for the Storm, but this was a perfect dropout from Ben Hunt that has turned out and turned into the worst nightmare for the Brisbane Broncos. Goes up, gets to about the 11. The Broncos will knock it backwards through Payne Haas, and then Reece Walsh, the bounce wasn't good for him, and Nick Meaney. Ooh, there may be a knock-on here at some point. It's probably a double knock-on, if anything, from the Broncos first into the Storm, and then Storm maybe knock out onto Reece Walsh. Here we go. Nah, that's going to be fine. That's going to be fine. That's going to be a try. Yeah. That's going to be a try. 16-2 with a kick to come. Ba-da-ba-ba-ba-da-ba-ba. Storm are going to shut up. Shut up. Shut up. Yeah, I think try's been confirmed. 16-2, 33 minutes to go here of the game. I'm going to... Sean says, better watching you than the AFL game. How's Ho Chi Minh? Pretty damn well good, Sean. Pretty damn well good. We are flying. What's the AFL game right now? Oh, it's Collingwood versus Hawks, isn't it? Oh, 63-24, Hub. Jeez, what's Collingwood doing lately, eh? What's Collingwood doing lately? It's good for the Catters, but... good for the Catters. But 33 minutes to go here at the game, and... Oh, no! They're going to go to the bunker. It's not confirmed yet. What's happening? Oh, it's not. It's a communication error rather than a further review. Oh, they're going to the bunker. Decision under review. What is it? Okay, so Reece will knock this ball anyway. So either way, it's a double knock on. It might be what I said originally. But it... What? But Nick Meaney... Yeah, okay. I get. This is what I originally said. They're going to say this is a no try. Yeah, so they're going to say knock on both ways. Broncos knock on first, and it's going to be no try against the Storm. Sure. Like, I'm okay with it. Sure, but they did go up as a try, and I did think that he controlled it probably enough, but anyway. Fair enough. What's the halftime score? Halftime score is 12-2. But the Storm are going to have the ball lead 10 base out. It's called no try. They took their time. Jimmy, I thought they'd confirmed a try. They definitely took their time. Took plenty of time. If we concede 18 in this Broncos team, I'm breaking my TV. There's no way, bro. I don't think you concede a try. You shouldn't be conceding a try when they've lost their halves mid-game. All right. Storm love a good scrum try. They love a good scrum try. Munster is going to really ruin any chance of a scrum try. Any chance. Hey, Jay, guess what? Bang. Welcome to Thailand, son. Somebody clap. Second tackle here at the 5. Beautiful, mate. Beautiful. Second tackle, Harry Grant. Goes in himself. It's a try. Surely, it's like a Toa. No, he's short. A couple of metres short in our third tackle. He got over the line. They got dragged back. Elias Katoa back into Harry Grant. Harry Grant to Tyron Wishart. Wishart sets back. And this is a bit broken down attack at the moment for the Melbourne Storm. 4th tackle. A little bit of broken down attack. Harry Grant. He'll flick it out to Munster. Munster, you get the 10. Oh, that was not the play from Munster. That was not the play. It's a knock-on from the Melbourne Storm. And it's going to be Brisbane Broncos getting this ball 0 tackle at 20. No, Munster. What's the point? What was the point of doing this strip here, Munster? They're going to say no advantage taken. Of course they are. There was no advantage taken. Of course they were always going to say there was no advantage there. Jay says, what the hell is that banger noise, dude? It's like I'm being bloody slapped across the back of the head. It's like a big banger noise that I keep hearing. Places I wanted. So 32.5 minutes left of the game. Knock on by the Storm will give the Broncos the ball here at the 10. Really no idea why Munster did that, but sure. Okay, Katoni Staggs will be first tackler at the 15. Surprised that one ain't run out. Yeah, these go... Dude, I know people who've had these for years and they haven't run out. That's just upstairs having some boom boom. No boom boom here, buddy. No boom boom here. What time is it? It is only 6:05 p.m. here. Maybe boom boom here, actually. Maybe some boom boom. So, 4th tackle for the Brisbane Broncos. And I'll get this ball to the 42. 4th tackle. No, I'm in a pretty good area here, actually. Jimmy says neighbours complaining. No. No. Man, in Asia, there's no such thing as noise complaints. Unless it's like 2 in the morning. And still, that's a debate. 5th tackle for the Brisbane Broncos. And Reece Walsh to Ben Hunt. And Ben Hunt puts that ball down at the corner. Where it will be Ryan Pappenhausen, little man. Bring it back here to the 10. Goes back to the left-hand side. What's he doing? I don't know what that was. Charlie says Sherlock Holmes in the bunker. Sherlock Holmes in the bunker. So are you agreeing with it or disagreeing with it? Because Sherlock Holmes could be regarded as... I feel like you're disagreeing with it, but that can be regarded as the bunker getting it correct as well. I would have probably said that it was a try, but I understand what they were saying. Either way, the Storm are going to win this game. Like, who cares? 4th tap, but I understand the complaint. And Motherman, he's going to throw that ball straight at the Brisbane Broncos at the 30. 30 minutes to go here of the second half here, guys. 30 minutes to go of the game. Hit that thumbs up button, subscribe. I haven't been really impressed with Munster in these last couple of minutes. So second tackle here at the 23 on the Melbourne Storm side of the field. The Broncos, there's no reason for them to score. Melbourne, you cannot concede to this Broncos team with no halves. You can't. I refuse. I refuse. Out of the right side, Ben Hunt. Ben Hunt gives it to Gasiewski, and he's going to lose the ball, which is just stupid. And Harry Grant, this might be a knock-on Storm, actually. I would say that Gasiewski has dropped that ball backwards, and then the Storm have knocked that ball on. That's the dog coming to haunt you. Maybe. Shark Boy's in the room above with his lady boys. Well, I'm not in Thailand, so no. No. I wanna hear you say, good song. Fire it up, the Backstreet Boys in Amy Park. Firing up a bit of Backstreet Boys at AAMI Park, telling us a lot about the club. So it is Storm ball here at the 10. Olivia says, I'm actually going undercover on Saturday and go to the Dolphins game. I know, because Dolphins fans are just Broncos fans in disguise. And Broncos fans are just Dolphins fans in disguise. They're all the same. They're one or the other. A couple of heads between them. So second tackle for the Storm, and they'll be at the 25. Sean James says, I was 1.01 minutes behind like usual. Caught up again. Sean, how are you always behind? I don't understand this. I don't understand how you're always behind. So third tackle for the Storm, and they're going to be at the 30. They roll out Harry Grant to Tom Wishart, and Wishart to the 35, fourth tackle. Get around your Rizzler. Olivia says, and it's meant to bucket down with rain. What are the odds? About $1.01. About $1.01. Trent Loiero to the 35, fifth tackle. 28 minutes left. Broncos fans, I don't think this has been a bad game for you by any means. Obviously, you've got to be frustrated at the injuries, but I don't think you've played ultimately poorly. I just don't think you've had really a great opportunity with your injuries. Man, it's going to be a bit of a muchness for the rest of the season, in my opinion. This is what team to go for. I go for the Tajikistani farmer's son. Second tackle now for the Broncos. They'll be at the 45. Big Tajikistan fan. Second tackle at the 45, and Billy Walters, he's going to go to the left-hand side for a big run here from Kobe Hetherington. I would argue Harry Grant wasn't square there, but third tackle at the 48. Old phone using it. Old dude using it. That might be a good start. Might be a good start. Fourth tackle at the 40. And that's going to be a knock-on against the Broncos. Gehamachi Basaki playing for a penalty, and instead you're going to play and get a knock-on. Don't challenge it. Don't bother. You know you've made a mistake here. And they will not. They will not challenge it. Still time here, Broncos. Still time. The DJ's on fire tonight at AAMI Park. DJ's on fire. Yeah, Shibasaki's just trying to free himself, and I think he's just lost the ball. Olivia says, I think the most disappointing thing is that we were actually giving them a good run for their money before Xavier Coates single-handedly killed us. Well, I hate to be the bearer of bad news, but as a man, it was on him for throwing that pass. And that's going to be a knock-on against the Melbourne Storm. You don't have a challenge, lads. You don't have a challenge. Joe Chan is complaining, but you do not have a challenge. Lorenzo says, the injuries pretty much killed the game. Even Melbourne is not up for it. Melbourne hasn't been up for it for a while. I would argue that actually is just straight up a bad play the ball from Joe Chan. Like, the Broncos did have a hand on the player, but I would have said that would have been unsuccessful. But yeah, like at the end of the day, it was Ezra Mam's pass that led to Xavier Coates' breakaway. And now Reece Walsh will be taken out of the 35, a first tackle in. But Melbourne hasn't really been up for it for weeks, man. They just kind of cruise across the line. Obviously lost to Manly the last time here in Melbourne, but they cruise across the line against the Eels and cruise across the line against the Roosters. Two very different games for very different reasons. I don't think the Storm have been great recently, but 6 again for the Broncos. They're 15 metres out. Ben Hunt gives up to Reece Walsh. Reece Walsh, short ball. Jordan Ricky, 3 metres out. It's going to be a zero tackle. First tackle here, sorry. First tackle. Reece Walsh playing for a penalty. You're never getting that, bud. Ben Hunt now flicks it to Hetherington, and Hetherington's going to be 4 metres out. Second tackle. This is your best and potentially only opportunity to score here, Broncos. Like, you've got an opportunity to get back into the game despite losing your halves. Ben Hunt to become Kamitha misses the tackle. They get off, and that's going to be a big hit by Munster, and he locks him down to the 15. Third tackle here, Ben Talty rolls it back to Billy Walters. Billy Walters up to Carrigan. Carrigan hit the 10. I will go out as far to say, if the Broncos do not score this attacking opportunity, they don't score the game. Billy Walters, Talty, and Talty is going to be 4 metres out, fit tackle. This is showing a lack of halves here this set so far, but here we go. What can they do on fit tackle? Paddy Carrigan, Ben Hunt, Reece Walsh kicks it through, and that's going to be actually a good kick from Reece Walsh. You appreciate that. Drop out coming up here from the Melbourne Storm to the Brisbane Broncos. A drop out coming on up. You didn't have to jump up and catch it. Oh, yeah. God forbid Xavier Coates does his job. Yeah, no, that's awful stuff. I can't believe Xavier Coates would do that. Can't believe it. All right, drop out from the Storm to the Broncos. Do they go for the long kick or do they go for the shorty? They go for this. What is being chanted in the crowd right now? It's like they're chanting off, off, off. That's going to be short. That's going to be a penalty to the Broncos. It just strikes Joe before going 10. All right. Penalty the Broncos 10 metres out. They're not going to give the 2, obviously. It would be pointless. So Billy Walters here to tap it. This is still part of that attacking opportunity. If they don't score on this attacking opportunity, I don't think they score for the rest of the game. But if they do, then they're still in the game. Mitchell says take the 2, Bronx. I reckon don't take the 2. Don't give it a try. Just set it for an immediate field goal. Now we're talking. Really keep your opposition guessing always. You'd still be down by 9 points, sure, but keep them guessing. Keep them guessing, confuse them. Get the old confusion tactic out. So, second tackle, Reece Walsh is going to throw a forward pass. Oh my fuck me, Reece Walsh. I don't understand this guy. I don't understand him. I just don't get it. I don't understand. Reece Walsh, you are not a passer of the ball, dude. I'll go as far as to say you do not know how to pass the ball. You have one good pass of the ball once every literal blue moon. Once every literal blue moon. It is nearly every couple of months you get one individual good pass and you think you're the greatest passer on the planet. Every week, play with your feet, Reece. Michael Maguire, please tell your fullback to play with his feet, not with his hands. Set the try up with your feet. Don't set the try up with your hands because this is the same shit we see with Reece Walsh every single week. I just don't get it. So Storm Ball here, second tackle at the 20. If someone disagrees with me, please let me know why I'm wrong. It is why I love this stream. So the Storm are going to be at the 15. For gosh sake, Reece. Deary me. Third tackle here, and Tyron Wishart is going to get this ball to the 30 on fourth tackle. Max Watson, remember what I told you? Remember what I told you? You said, did I say rocks and diamonds? I think I meant straight rocks, bro. This is literally what I replied to you before. Literally what I replied to you. Dad's mate says, I remember 4 months ago, your dad's appreciate you, mate, says, the Broncos are back. Yeah, big old yikes, sir. Again, I don't think they've been ultimately too bad here today, but obviously those injuries hurt them big time. Jay says, okay. David Green says, Warriors dodged a bullet. Yeah, I will agree with you, but I also don't want to say that Reece Walsh isn't a great player. I think he might be being coached incorrectly. I personally believe it. And this is just me as being sitting in Buddy Ho Chi Minh of all places as a couch potato. Well, not couch, sitting on a chair, but fit tackle here at the 12, being an audience member. I don't think he's being coached correctly because he's being obviously told to play the pass. And there'll be a kick through there from the Broncos, and Storm will get this ball here at the 10 with Little Mum and Little Puppy Ryan Pappenhausen. I think somebody, whether it be manager, whether it be a trainer, whether it be somebody at this club, I think they're telling him to play a pass which he doesn't have in his locker. He doesn't. He does not have it in his locker. Second tackle here with the Storm at the 20, now the 25. Xavier Coates gets to the 30, third tackle. Yeah, I don't want to say that Reece Walsh is a bad player, David, but I will say I agree that Warriors dodged a bullet. I think they've got Tane Tuolpiki, who was nice. I think they've got Chance Newell-Klokstad, who was nice. I think they've got the ability across the fullback department, and I don't think if they really desperately needed to, they'd go Roger Tuivasa-Sheck. But that's going to be a penalty here to the Storm at just the 42. The Broncos are unlucky it wasn't inside the 40 for a 6 again. Play the ball back inside the 40. Oh, no, it's going to be 6. Oh, sorry, at the 42 is the 6 again. If it was just, they were half a metre in front of getting a penalty. Instead, they get the 6 again because it was outside the 40. Yikes. Brendan says, Tedesco is 10 times the fullback. I don't disagree. But let's also not pretend that Reece isn't a good player, but it's just that he tries to create too much. You are a fullback, you are not a halfback, you are not a 5'8". If you want to create with your feet, that is what your job description is. If you're wanting to play with your hands, then for the love of all that is mighty, ask to play 5'8". Ask to play 5'8". Nick Amini's got a round, gives it to Grant Anderson here at the 15, and it's going to be a 4th tackle here, 15 minutes out. Jimmy James is good passes from him are rarer than Diamond, I agree. Sean James, I'm the only Aussie in a 50-kilometre radius. It's like I'm back in Oz. Oh, yeah, fair enough. Pop it out on the dead side. Here for the Storm. And they're going to be 10 metres out from the line. Fit tackle. Fit tackle. Chair potatoes are more qualified. Don't disagree. Munster. Xavier Coates in the air. Oh, he's lost the ball. Penalty, I think, for a tackle without the ball. Penalty to the Melbourne Storm. 20 minutes to go here at the game, guys. Hit that thumbs up button. Subscribe if you're new around here. Do not forget, I'll be live for both games tomorrow. But Xavier, yeah, definitely obstruction. Definitely an escort. Definitely an escort from Jack Kosieski. Congrats, Harry Grant. Finally, someone ditching the headgear and not wanting to be Matt Burton. Matt Burton. Matt Burton. Who is she? Who is she, Daz, mate? Who is she? She good looking, Sheila, or what? But it says he also watches a lot of footy and likes to try different plays and things. Oh, Darius Boyd helped me out a lot. Darius Boyd was rude to me when I worked at Subway when I was 15. You know that? Yeah. Yeah. Well before YouTube. I was just a Subway worker when I was like 15 years old. The second tackle now for the Melbourne Storm and they're 4 metres out from the line. Harry Grant gives it off to Munster. Munster 5 metres out, steps around 1. And he'll get... No, he fakes the offload. Oh, here's a try. Here's a try. Yep, Xavier Coates. Try time in the corner. Bing bong. Game over. That, my friends, is going to be a TRY2. That's bing bong. Xavier Coates hits that one in the corner. 16-2, kick to come. Don't forget, the Broncos are down to 2 men on the bench for like 60 minutes. So they probably should get pieced apart this last 20. They probably should be. Mitchell says, Burton is Dewey's son. That's who he is. Daz, are you going to take that shit? You going to take that slander, even though it might be correct slander right now? Even though it might be a little bit of correct slander right now. This could be a hard kick here for the Storm to get. But here we go. 18 minutes left. So Storm are going to go into first position on the table tonight. Broncos have a big chance of going into 8th position. Dasman says, put Broncos on scam right now. You can't do that against the Storm, especially with the context of how this game has gone. I can't do it, Daz. I can't do it. I want to do it, but I can't do it, mate. Big fan of doing it, but massive fan of doing it. Massive. But 16-2 and tough kick to come. Do it for Milford, but it's Milford's fault. I'm not going to do it. Like said, did I just hear Darius Boyd in Subway? What the hell happened? I worked at Subway when I was like 15, and I remember that Darius Boyd walked in once, and it was super rude. I'm not even saying he's a bad dude. I'm just saying when I was like super young and working at Subway at Warringah on the Gold Coast, he came in and was just super rude once. He won't because I'm his fave mod. Is that right? Is that right? Well, it's definitely not Sundo with his constant rehashing of the G offside goal from the 2011-12 season against Sunderland. Buddy, 3 a.m. I get back from State of Friend last night, 2 a.m. or something, and at 2 a.m. and buddy, the old Sundo has sent me something from 15 years ago that still gives me nightmares to this day when a goal was scored against Man City in the 94th minute and it was offside for Sunderland. He's a dog, that bloke. He's a dog. Don't worry, Andrew Fafita tried to fight me when I used to be a junior rugby league ref. Yeah, well, I don't know if I've got the same Twitter as I used to, but Willie Mason's got me blocked me on there. Called me bitch tits about... It's probably like 10 years. No, I would have been like 17 years old. Yeah, well before I did social media. 17 minutes left of the game here. Called me bitch tits and blocked me. Willie Mason. So the Broncos now, short kick, and the Storm are going to bring this ball to the 35. What did Boyd tell you? Put something in the bag or something? Oh, yeah, because I can remember 16 years ago, Zach. I can remember what he said. So I can just remember there was a bad instance, like a bad, rude instance. I can't remember exactly what was said. So Storm now, and that's going to be a penalty to Melbourne. Yeah, this game's well and truly done. Get back in the kitchen and make me a sub, bitch tits. This is what we've turned into here? This is what we've turned into? Really? That's what we're going to do? Bitch tits, you never recover from that and never recover from that. So 16 minutes to go here at the game. The Storm, Elliot Katoa brings out here to the 35 on first tackle. How to recover from that? I haven't to this day, mate. I'm still crying. Still crying. This is what it's come to. Thank you, Jay. Good. Second tackle at the 28. Oh, when here we are again. No, I know what you're referring to. No, you can't say this is the same Broncos as other losses. This hasn't been a bad loss of mine. It's just been an unfortunate loss. This is what I say. I might have had the Broncos, but I'll give you an analytical opinion. And I don't think the Broncos have played ultimately bad here today. They've been unlucky with injuries. Storm right-hand side. And I did say the last 20 minutes, the Storm should piece you apart with only 2 players on the bench for 60 minutes. Second tackler at the 5. But people will always call you a Broncos hater just because they're your biggest rivals. And it's like, okay, sure, I hate you, but I will give you my honest opinion too. And if it's a negative opinion, it's not coming from malice. It's coming from, I genuinely believe it. So Storm here at the 15. Loyero, Pappenhausen at the back. Should be an easy try coming up here. No, that was selfish from Joe Chan. That was selfish. 5 metres out. They go short side. Pappenhausen goes at himself. That's a high tackle. That's arguably a penalty try. They're going to say 6 again. Well, I thought it was a high tackle, and I'm pretty certain he was going to score that try. I'm pretty certain. Anyway, whatever. It was literally just. Oh, what's Reece Walsh doing? What's he doing? Get back on your fullback, you cat. What are you doing? 10 metres out. Harry Grant. Jonah Pezzett. Elliot Sakatoa. He's 5 metres away from the line. Dozens says, what was that? I don't know what that was. He was running Timbuktu, the old Reece. The old Reecey Beastie was running Timbuktu. Jonah Pezzett. Pezzett to Loyero. Loyero to Munster. And Munster will knock it on. Knock it on. Knock it on. Voss, it might have been Brandy. I don't know who it was, but someone just said Brisbane's still a hope. Mate, it's 14 points. And they've got no halves. What do you want them to do? Reece running around like he's swatting bees. That's because he is a professional bee swatter. Zach, don't judge the man. What do you think? He's actually not even a professional bee swatter. I'm just kidding around with you there. He's actually a professional seagull grabber because this is at Amy Park and you got some stupid damn well seagulls. So here we go. Scans have determined that it's damage for the 2 halves. They both went down in the 21st minute. Suspected hamstring injuries. Hurry up and tell us what the fucking injury is! What are you doing? What was the point of what she... Why have we just heard... That's the dumbest, inclusion... That was the most pointless thing. That was the most pointless inclusion of commentary I've ever heard from someone who doesn't know what the injury is. All she literally did was come on and say that Ezra Mam and Adam Reynolds got injured in the 21st minute and then took us on a whole novel storyline of Harry Potter and the Goblet of Fire to tell us that that was it and she doesn't know the extent of the injury yet. What was the literal purpose of anything she just said on the commentary 50 minutes after it happened? 50 minutes! We've just waited for her to tell us exactly what she told us 50 minutes ago. I can't believe that. I was waiting for her to tell us the confirmed injury. So Storm will get the ball here at the 25. I couldn't believe that. I was waiting for her to get to the point. I was waiting for her to actually get there. I was waiting for her to get there. And she goes, we're not too sure what the confirmation is yet. Oh, I actually got annoyed there. Third tackler at the 40, because I was just so patiently waiting for her to tell us the point. So it's going to be 4 tackled here at the 50. That was insane. Jack says score could be worse. Correct. Did you listen? That's what I just said. Ultimately, in simpler terms, Xavier Coates kicks the ball back onto the inside, and Reece will get slapped down at the 12. That's barely eye tackle, but they will call it a penalty. Barely. She told you good. Yeah, she told us. She told us a lot, Jay. She told us a lot. She told us. The 22nd minute of this game, we found out there were 2 players down injured with a probable hamstring, and then at the 68th minute, we've been told that 2 players went off with a probable hamstring. Lily says she needs to get paid. Yeah, well, it would have been nice if she could have actually given us some substance. Put him in the bin, that was brutal. Agree. Ben Hunt, forward pass. No. Okay. Third tackle at the 48. 10 minutes to go here the game, guys. 10 minutes to go here of the game. Hit that like button and subscribe if you are new around here. Broncos get through to the 35. I think they just said 6 again, didn't they? I thought I heard it. And Reece Walsh going to lose 5 minutes. He has not been having a good game into Reece BC. That should be 6 again. They didn't call it, though. Logan says, I bet she gets paid more than us. Doubt it. Fifth tackle at the 35. 10 minutes left. I don't have a problem with her. I just thought that was a poor decision to actually include her just then. I don't think there's nothing wrong with her. And there's going to be a penalty here to the Storm. Elbow to the throat of Munster. I hope he's alright. John says, mate, your commentary is more entertaining than the game. I don't think it's been a bad game overall. It's not been the greatest game ever, but it's not been a bad game overall. Yeah, definitely a penalty for elbow to the throat. Sean says, I will not say what I was going to. Good call. What? What are you talking about? I bet Dad said, Sean, what's happening? At least she isn't Kelly Underwood. Again, I don't have a problem with whoever that lady was just then. Like, that lady, there's no problem with the commentator, the sideline reporter, but it was just the most pointless information. There was no information. It was literally just what we knew 60 minutes ago. Or 50 minutes ago. Like, I don't have a problem with the actual person who said it. It was just completely pointless what she said. So, 70-minute possession in the last 10 minutes of the Storm to 30% for the Broncos. And second tackle now at the 40. Also, you've got to remember, people here won't know who Kelly Underwood is. And at the back now to Munster. And Munster is going to get this taken down at the 25. Third tackle. She was just telling you that she doesn't know. Well, I didn't need to know that, Zach. Yeah, I was really interested to see if she knew or not. I'm glad that she doesn't know, but it would have been better if she knew, obviously. And ball goes over the sideline with Grassy McGrass. Beautiful play by Grass McGrath. Beautiful play. Okay, well, Jack Kirkland is operating on a system about 50 minutes later than when we were talking about it. Jack Kirkland is living 50 minutes ago in our conversations. Valentino says 26 points, please, Melbourne Storm. I don't think they will. I think they'll probably get another try to make it maybe 22-2. I don't know if they can get 2 more tries in the next 9 minutes, but we'll see. Tasman says, try time from that fat drunk in the front row. And it's going to be the Melbourne Storm who picked this ball up at the in goal. Bring out at the 5. Jack, you should know by now these streams are banter, bro. There's not anything deep. That's a high tackle. No, apparently not. At least it was better than the NBA commentators telling us Shay and the other bloke are cousins for the millionth time. No, it was so funny when there was that commentator who brought up about Ja Morant's like gunshot, guns or whatever. Something about him pulling out. Oh, dude, it was funny. I can't remember. I think the dude got. He got absolutely ripped for it. Cubbo fullback. Zach, I would have personally put Cubbo fullback, Reece Walsh 6 and Ben Hunt 7. That's what we were talking about 50 minutes ago, but they went a different direction. They decided to put Tony Staggs in the 5-8. Storm run home, Panthers, Bulldogs, Roosters, Broncos. Tough run. Isn't he injured? No, he was wobbling. It was definitely a little bit rocky, but he came back onto the field. He's on the field. Hey, Mitchell, did you know Shea Gilgeous-Alexander and Nickel Alexander-Walker are cousins? That's crazy. Daz, mate, I don't know if I've ever heard that in my life. Did you know that Damien Cook is a beach sprinter? Yeah. Yeah, Damien Cook used to be a beach sprinter. Just in case people didn't know. So the Broncos will be at the 50 on 4 tackles. 7 minutes to go here at the game. Well, Broncos fans, I don't think you should hold your heads in shame here. I think you should be proud of the effort. But, yeah, Samuel Cubbo here. He'll be at the 28. Proud of the effort, but also understand that I don't think you would have won this game anyway. Not that the Storm have been absolutely spectacular. Ben Hunt here at the 30. Ben Hunt's not a halfback anymore, lads. Cam Bro says he still does it. Damien Cook still sprints on beaches. No, Cam Bro, no. I was just setting you up so that I could tell you that he used to be a professional beach sprinter. Jay says I'm also a beach sprinter. We do not count when you're running away from the police, Joe. We don't count that. It's not professional. Unless you're a professional thief and then you're utilizing beach as your getaway. Then that's professional, and we could say you're a professional beach sprinter. But unfortunately, Jay, just running away on the beach is not professional, so we can't include it. Sean says, are they Tasmanian? Is who Tasmanian? Wait, are you talking about Shea Gilgeous-Alexander and Nikhil Alexander-Walker? They're two NBA players from America. We did the best with what we were given. Yeah, I thought you were right. So it's going to be a penalty here to the Melbourne Storm. Penalty to the Melbourne Storm. Says agree, would have put Walsh 5'8", Hunt 7, and Cobbo fullback on Lucky Broncos. And yes, Damien Cook used to be a pro beach sprinter coming from a Bunnies fan here. Yeah, thank you, Arns. But look, I think that absolutely would have been the case. I just think that there's some weird fascination with Tony Staggs being a 6 because he had one half-decent game for Tonga back in 2017 in a literal friendly against Australia that meant absolutely nothing, and we still hear about that one game 8 years later, and it's like it just was a complete friendly. Congratulations, but they've never beaten Australia outside of that. So it's like, congratulations on that one win, but like Tony Staggs is not a 6. It's just as simple as that. And I don't think that Reece Walsh is a 6, but at least he actually actively tries to be a 6 when he's a fullback. So it's going to be Tyrone Wishart at the 10. He'll get the offload away to Pappenhausen. Pappenhausen will take that 3 metres out, second tackle. I'm sure you'll say, hey, I'm back. Holy shit. Hey, Channel 9. Yeah, no, Electric Eels is back. Yeah, I know you were waiting. Yeah, oh, jeez. All right, yeah, you're right. You got the news story going? Okay, beautiful. All right, thank you. Yeah, Electro is back, just so you know. Yeah, I know, it's shocking. Yeah. All right, sorry. 4 tackled here for the Melbourne Storm. They're 3 metres out from the line, 4.5 minutes to go here in the game. And they'll give it out here to Pappenhausen. Wow, that's a great try saver from Jordan Ricky. That was a great try saver. And now the back here to Munster. Munster kicks that ball up into the corner. Xavier Coates, try time. Oh, did he put that ball down? Yeah, well, did he put the ball down first before he reached out again? I'm pretty certain it's a try here. I did say at least one more try, so 20 to 2 with the kick to come, and it's Xavier Coates with another try. He's just banging in those old tries lately. That will be his second try of the game here. Yeah, I thought maybe double movement here, Mitchell. Let's see. He comes down. Nah, that's a try. No, he held it up. That's fine. Almost a double movement, but he does hold that ball up. He does hold that arm up. Arn says, Cubby Black can wait his turn next season or last round of this regular season. I don't think they put Cubby Black in now. It's too important. You know, right this very second, the Broncos have a very likely chance of going into 8th. The Sharks should beat the Dragons, and I believe the Dolphins will beat the Roosters, which means the Broncos will be equal 7th, but they'll be in 8th because the points differential for the Dolphins is plus 171, and currently for the Brisbane Broncos, they're going to be at plus 106. So it's like, maybe plus 104 if he gets his kick. So there's still 4 minutes to go here. So the Broncos are on a teeter-totter of that top 8 right now. And Roosters, you could have argued that's a double movement, but I don't think so. I think it's fine. Nah, bullshit. I don't think that's a double movement. This is not the purpose of the rule, referees. This is not the purpose of the rule. This is not the purpose of the rule of double movement. You know it. You know there should be a try. Nah, I'm sorry. And also, he's been tackled without the ball there, mind you. There's a mid-air tackle for sure. He's scoring from 2 centimeters out. I'm sorry, but this is not the point of the. I'm sorry, that's not the point of the rule. They're going to call this a double movement, but it's not the point of the rule. I'm sorry, but I don't believe that should be a no try. Nah, it's not double movement. They're going to give a penalty try. So the bunker knows how to give a penalty try nowadays, do they? Is that right? Is that right? The bunker knows how to give penalty tries. Oh, the bunker knows how to give penalty tries. Oh, the bunker knows how to give penalty tries. Did you know that the bunker knows how to give penalty tries? I thought last Saturday between the Titans and Panthers, I was sure that penalty tries didn't exist anymore. But they've called this as a penalty try, so it's 22 with the kick to come. You're off your rocker, NRL. You are something else. You are something else. I'll flip out. I'll flip out. I'll flip out. You are something else, NRL. Larkin says there were no penalty tries in the Titans-Panthers game. I know. I know. I think that's fair, though. Look at that angle. It's not a double movement. It's not the purpose of the rule. So we have to be winning by 18 to get the penalty try. Makes sense. Yes. Yes. Yeah, bro. What's Voss saying? There's no way it should be a shot in front. Why? It's a penalty try. Like, what? Voss is arguing here. Like, that's the whole point of a penalty try, Voss. Yeah, well, it's an illegal play. It's an illegal play to prevent a try. He still reached the line. It's a penalty try. So why are you complaining about they getting the free 2 points when it's like he would have scored? I don't understand. Jack says Broncos probably not making the top 8. Ridiculous statement. If the Dolphins win against the Roosters, then you are 8th, but you are 4 points clear of the Roosters and probably 4 points clear of Manly, who probably lose the Raiders this week. If the Roosters beat the Dolphins, then you will be, Broncos get the ball here, 22 metres out. You will be in 7th position, but you will be 2 points clear of the Dolphins. You actually probably want the Dolphins to win. The Dolphins will drop you down to 8th with their win. However, I don't think he wants the Roosters to win because then both the Dolphins and Roosters will be 2 points short of you. Dolphins have a much better points differential than you, and you've got a tougher run. And yeah, the Roosters. Yeah, you would probably want the Dolphins to beat the Roosters to keep them at bay, especially points differential being better. Right hand side here, chance of the Broncos. I think they've scored. I'm pretty certain Dean Mariner might have scored here in the wing, and he has. It is a try out of nowhere. The Brisbane Broncos will score. And Dean Mariner goes boom, boom, boom. Oh, someone covers injured, lads. God bless him. So you've lost Adam Reynolds, you've lost Ezra Mam, and you've now lost someone cover. He couldn't walk off the field. Jack says this game is ruined. I'm out. I can't watch this junk anymore. Well, there's only 2 minutes to go here, Jack, so it's like you may as well anyway. But it's unfortunate. You have lost Ezra Mam. You have lost Adam Reynolds, probably for the regular season, not the finals, if you make the finals. But Selwyn Cobbo couldn't even walk off the field just then. No, I don't. Is that a hamstring? Yeah, it is. I think so. You've had 3 hamstrings today. You've had 3. Oh, no. They're going to the bunker, lads. And they're looking at grounding here. Yeah, he's holding a hammy too, Jimmy James. There could be 3 hammies for the Broncos today. Or left hand of Dean Mariner. He's going to go out, yeah. Yep, that is out from Dean Mariner, so it'll be a no-try Broncos. Should be called Sports Bet League. Every single try should be called Lab. Jex, are you complaining about the refereeing here? What's wrong with the refereeing here? Like, what are you arguing about, Jex? Society says yes or no, BKR Brisbane make finals or not. I will say yes, but I think they go to 8 this weekend. I will say yes, though, because I don't think Roosters or Manly have enough in them. The only way for me that Broncos miss the 8 is if Manly beat the Raiders tomorrow, in my opinion. Jax, for another furious 20 seconds and I'll never be back. Wait, what's happening? I don't understand what's happening right now. I don't understand. I don't actually understand what just happened. So 3rd tackle now. Is Jax like known here, Jay? I don't understand what's happened. Why has he lost his mind? Why has he had the ultimate crash day? Is he complaining with the referees or is he complaining about me? I don't understand. I don't know which one he's complaining about. I don't know if he's angry at me or he's angry at the officiating. Charlie says Broncos physios working overtime tonight. Yeah, well, don't ask the Rabbitohs physios for their thoughts or opinions or their advice, because that is the worst team in the history of the planet in regards to injuries. Jax was on this villain arg. I don't understand if he was having a crack at me or the officiating. Jax, have a cold one and go to bed, champ. Oh, good kick here. Good kick. Oh, you're kidding. You are kidding. He actually scores that if he just run that in. But he's bombed the try there, Grant Anderson. It's because he's going to the Broncos next year. That's why. He doesn't want to score against his new team. He's angry at life, I think. It goes deep. I don't understand what happened. That's a courageous performance even at halves tonight. I wouldn't say the word courageous. Like, you still lost by 20 points here, but I don't think it was a bad performance. But courageous is a bit far. But I wouldn't say it's a horrible performance by any means. I don't think they gave it a crack defensively, but at the end of the day, you still concede 20 points. You're still losing this game by 20 points. So, yeah, courageous would have been like a 1-12 loss. I think this has been... It's not been what it could have been, is how I'd put it. It's not been what it could have been. It could have been a 50-point blowout. It could have been, but it wasn't. So, good on you for not being a 50-point blowout. But it's just not been what it could have been, is how I'd summarise it. Arn says, agree with that. Too many damn injuries for the Bunnies. Yeah, 100 or so, or 80 or so more than the next worst team, which I think might be the Roosters. Ben Hunt, he'll flick that ball across to Grassy McGrass. And knock on for the Broncos. 10 seconds left here. 10 seconds left. Piss off back to Perth. Anderson, you cat. Well, he's going to the Broncos next year. He's off to the Broncos. Says Bunnies to the wooden spoon, definitely. I will say I think maybe the Knights get it. I will put a ballsy call out here and say the Knights get it. Because if the Titans... So that's a game, by the way, guys. The Storm will win 22-2. The Titans, if they win on Sunday against Rabbitohs, they will go to 18 points, equal with the Eels and equal with the Knights. Now, the Rabbitohs still have a bye. So if we think long-term this season, that will put all bottom four teams on 18 points. I don't believe the Knights beat the Panthers. Eels-Cowboys will be interesting this week. The Titans still play the Tigers, plus also they will be... I think the Knights. I think the Knights have a tougher run. I think the Knights have a tougher run. But either way, if the Titans win on Sunday, all bottom four teams are on 18 points, and it will just come down to points differential. But, yeah, you don't want to see the Titans slap South to side, because then that will guarantee the Rabbitohs a spoon, if that was the case. But anyway, guys, there we go. 22-2 to the Storm is the final score. The Storm will go to first position. First position for the time being until the Raiders play Manly tomorrow, which obviously, guys, we will be live for. We will be live tomorrow for Raiders versus Manly, plus also the Knights versus the Panthers. So, Raiders-Manly's a big game. Knights-Panthers has context behind it. And hope some team gets calmer for last week. But yeah, we'll be live both those games. And on Saturday, we'll be live for Dragons, Sharks, Dolphins, Roosters, and Bulldogs, Warriors. And then on Sunday, we've got Titans, Rabbitohs, and the Eels versus the Cowboys. So I hope you have enjoyed here, guys. Hit that thumbs up button and subscribe. Give it a crack, Broncos. Unfortunately, you're in a bit of a tough spot, a sticky wicket for the final part of this season. But alright, guys, I'll see you tomorrow for the next couple of games. Thanks for watching. Catch you later. See ya.